Over the past 40 years, the United States has produced 10 Olympic medalists in the distance races. They came from different parts of the country. They competed for different colleges. They followed a variety of training paths, but they all had one thing in common. They took their first steps into elite competition in the Foot Locker. Today, the next group of high school distance stars will follow that same path that may very well lead to Olympic glory as they compete in the 39th Annual Foot Locker National Cross Country Championships.
And welcome to the 2017 Cross Country National Championships. Foot Locker approved. We are back in Balboa Park in sunny San Diego, California. I'm joined as always by Carrie Tollefson. Carrie, great day. I see the runners just arriving. The crowd is building here, and we want to welcome everyone online as well, wherever you are across the country.
Yeah, what a beautiful day to race here. I mean, sunny San Diego is always nice, but it is a great day to race here. I'm nervous. I wish I could get out there and race again, but it's been way too long, and it's all about these kids today.
You talked about the weather. I know that it's made national news, the devastating fires all across Southern California, and we want to tell people at home who may be wondering about that, those fires, while our hearts go out to the victims and all of the people affected by that. Fortunately, not a factor here today. Those fires dozens of miles away. The air is clear, it is crisp. No excuses here today, as we have 80 of the finest high school runners in the country here ready to compete for that coveted crown.
Yeah, you know, they came in here ready to roll. They have so many different race strategies. We've talked to all of the athletes. Every one of them is so excited to hear that gun go off, and more importantly, celebrate their great work over the entire season. So yes, we want to see a great race today, but we want to congratulate all of these athletes for everything they've done leading up to this point already. This is the icing on the cake for them, so I hope they're enjoying themselves. They're getting ready to warm up right now, so just have fun, enjoy your day. You will never forget this moment.
And just know that you're not as nervous as your mom and dad.
That's right.
Well, we are going to welcome in Tim O'Rourke in just a moment. And gosh, we have a lot of stuff to talk about before the race. We have some of the professional runners, Olympians, and some of the videos from this experience over the past few days. It really is an incredible experience.
You can't get much better than this. You know, being a Foot Locker alum, I'll never forget almost being like on my first Christmas vacation, coming out here, going to the Del Coronado, having everyone pamper us like we're Olympians, because these kids could be Olympians. So it is one weekend they will never forget, and one I will never forget.
Speaking of pampering, one of the companies doing some of that, New Balance. Take a look. We mentioned Tim O'Rourke, a familiar face and name in cross country across the nation. And Tim, this is a day you look forward to all year long. You've done the numbers and you're crunching them next to me here right now.
It is exciting. It is two great races. It is the end of the year, literally, for everyone, and the culmination of a great 2017 season. And at the end of the day, we'll have two new national champions.
Okay, you mentioned that this is going to be one of those races where it is going to be really tightly contested, especially on the guys' side.
Oh, on the boys' side, it is as wide open as has been in a decade. I mean, you could have any one of, right now there's 15, maybe 20 boys over there that can see themselves, just like Reed Brown giving us at the end next. That could be the guy.
All right, Tim, stay with us, but we have our first guest of the morning. Joining us right now, we have Kim Conley, a two-time Olympian. Kim, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Kim, what does it feel like to be here? I mean, you have run here, obviously, in California. This is where you're from. What does it mean to be here now as a coach and part of the Foot Locker family?
You know, last year was my first year coming down here. I actually didn't qualify for this meet. I tried to when I was in high school. But so last year was just so exciting to finally get to make the trip down to San Diego. And I'm so excited that New Balance is a part of this now, and I'm hoping it's an annual event I get to come to.
Two-time Olympian, but you said you didn't qualify. And you were on a great team. Sarah Hall, as most of us know her, she won this race. So in high school, it is a tough race to make.
Yeah, it's a very tough race to make. It's the pinnacle of high school cross country, and I think it's a huge honor for all the athletes to get to be here.
What have you guys been doing with the athletes while you've been here?
Oh, we've been having some fun over meals and things, and we got to share our most embarrassing moments with them last night, which was very embarrassing.
Yes, you guys had a lot of fun with them. But you know what? I think for me as an athlete, you know, when I had the opportunity to meet people like you at Foot Locker, it was so inspiring, and also kind of opening my eyes for opening the doors for the things that we get to do as professionals. What is next for you?
Next, you know, I ran my first marathon last fall, and I'm hoping to be able to do more of that in the future, but also keep running on the track.
All right, well, we'll see you this spring.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Tim, as we wait and talk to some of the various professional athletes who are out there, how do the boys and girls receive that advice?
Oh, it's interesting. Most of them have been here. Most of the elite athletes have run here before, and some have done very well here before. So they're always looking for an edge. Everybody's looking for an edge here. The course, they've all been able to see it even if they haven't been here before. They've seen the course on videos. They've talked to people about it. Even some of them have come run on their own just to get ready for this. So I think what they're looking for is that edge. What is the key, and what can they get that last little bit over the person next to them?
So many great partners in this event. One of them, the San Diego Hall of Champions. The executive director is Drew Mosier, who joins us up in the booth. Drew, good to see you again. It's amazing how fast a year flies.
Likewise, it's great to be back. It's always such a highlight to come out here and welcome the runners and wish them luck and welcome Foot Locker and everybody to town. This is an awesome deal for sure.
We appreciate all that the San Diego Hall of Champions does. For those who may not be familiar with the Hall, you've had a busy year, some changes.
Yeah, we moved locations. The Hall of Fame now is down at Petco Park in the Western Metal Supply Building, but the core of what we do, which to me really is bringing people together in the name of excellence, all of that continues, and that's why we're here today. It's an important event to San Diego. When you talk about the top of the top in any sport, these kids are remarkable runners, and they're certainly here in the name of excellence. So it's great to be here and wish the runners luck.
Who are some of the names that people might recognize running-wise who are in the Hall?
Well, Meb is probably one of the most well-known. He's been a Star of the Month and a Star of the Year for a number of occasions. You have to be retired for 2 years before you can be appointed to the Breitbart Hall of Fame. So I'd say it's fairly likely here in a few years he'll be inducted there. But he's probably the most well-known.
Meb running his final marathon in New York City, as many people are well aware, within the past several weeks. And so, yeah, he's one of those guys, you don't even need to say his last name, right? You just say Meb and you share and the rest of them.
Yeah, right.
Madonna, and you got it. Okay, and you stick around for this race today, and you watch, and it's just so exciting. Even if you're not, dialed in with cross country and you know all the ins and outs, it's just fun to see these elite athletes go.
Oh, for sure, and just the energy and the way, Janine Zox and her crew out here at Foot Locker, the way they produce this event from top to bottom, not only the race, but the experience that they give these kids is second to none, and just what a treat to be a competitor, be a spectator, really any facet of this event. It's just such a first-class deal that it's great to be out here.
Drew, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And let's head down to Carrie on the field.
Lucas, I'm here with Lucas Verzbickas, who's won here 2 times. Lucas, what does it feel like to be here on the finish line? Like heading into the banners here, I mean, you have some good memories.
Yeah, of course. It feels really good, and that's the great thing about this race is that this is the same course that the greats of the past have run, and all these kids get to experience, being in the footsteps of all the great runners before them.
We have an opportunity to see Claudia Lane win her 2nd championship. That's a nice little group of people that she could join. What does it mean to you to be in that group?
Well, I remember coming my 2nd year, and it's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, you have the experience, so I think she has that as an advantage, and, it's a great honor because that's even a more select group to be part of.
As a professional triathlete, you've had your ups and downs with some injuries. You're coming back from an injury here. Where can we see you next?
I think long course triathlon is something you can, as a triathlete, pursue way into your 40s and stuff, and I think I'd like to dabble in the Ironman and stuff one day.
Nice, Lucas. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for showing these athletes how it's done.
Of course.
Back to you guys in the booth.
Carrie, thanks so much. And Tim, this is not just a race, it is a weekend experience.
It is an amazing experience. The amount of gear that these kids get, it's like Christmas around here. It's unbelievable. The sweats and the different outfits for the different day and the backpacks. And we were kidding with the parents, you don't have to buy them Christmas presents. Christmas came a little early this year.
The kids gave the parents some presents in some cases, right?
Yeah, you'll see the parents. One of the great things New Balance, they give all the parents shirts, so you'll know who they're rooting for. The backpacks medals that they all received. New Balance made 80 of these. You can't buy them. You can't get them anywhere else. You have to run yourself to the Nationals just to get this.
And oh, by the way, the venue where this is all happening, not too bad either.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. This whole setup right here that we're seeing now available for the kids, this is where they get to hang out all weekend long right here. Everyone has their own locker. They had their names on them. They were welcomed by Emma Coburn and the New Balance athletes when they walked in the door. They got all this outstanding gear that they're going to get to take. They got racing shoes, they got training flats, they've got practice sweats. Oh my gosh.
You hear a lot with collegiate athletes who go to those bowl games, and they go to those, you know, whether it's the Rose Bowl or something else, and it's just like this. But here they are, high school runners walking off with so much cool new gear, and the Hotel Del Coronado in the background there. Hopefully they appreciate it, because I know their parents do.
I think they could not have been treated better than they have been so far.
Fantastic. All right, so Tim, as we sort of get into well, the heart of why we're here, which is today's race, both of them, the guys and the girls. And we're, gosh, as we speak, we're seeing a nice crowd gather here. They are warming up. What's going through their minds right about now?
Well, you know, in the end, it's a race here today, and it's a pressure-filled race. There's no doubt about it. There's only 40 boys and 40 girls in there. There's no place to hide here. You know, you have got to run well just to be in this race. And so, you know, it's been fun, and it's been a great experience so far, and it'll be great today afterwards when they're ice skating or on the beach. But, you know, right now it's getting down to race time, and these kids are great runners, and they're getting ready to run a great race.
Well, before the race, we do get the chance to meet them and hear from them, and our first group of runners from the Northeast and the West. Let's meet them.
Mason Gatewood, Garden City, New York.
Hi, my name is Fahd Nasser. I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey.
Rusty Kudich from Feasterville, Pennsylvania.
Drew Thompson from Fairfield, Connecticut.
Devin Hart, Point Pleasant Borough, New Jersey.
Nathan Lawler, Pittsford, New York.
Dalton Hanks, York, Pennsylvania.
Lucas Alejandro Aramburu from Brookline, Mass.
Damian Dolcher, Brick, New Jersey.
Tristan Shelgren, Boxford, Massachusetts.
Justin Hartshorn, Alpine, Utah.
Darius Riley, Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Terlon Moreland, Spokane, Washington.
Brownson Winter, Far West, Utah.
Colin Ulrich, Galt, California.
Roberto Porras, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Zach Winter, Far West City, Utah.
Hi, my name is Joaquin Martinez de Pinillos. I am from San Diego, California.
My name is Mika Baudouin-Rousseau, and I am from Sunnyvale, California.
Kashan Harrison, Curling, Mexico.
Hey, I'm here with Corey McGee is down here with me at the finish line, you guys. And Corey McGee, not only are you a 25-time state champion, but you're a two-time Foot Locker finalist. What does that mean to you?
It means so much to me. Just being back here brings back so many pleasant memories. And throughout the last 10 years running and continuing to see the same people that I met here when I was a freshman in high school is just always surreal, and everything just comes full circle, and it comes back to Foot Locker.
You know, I don't know if everyone has seen your commercial on the Jumbotron yet, but you are a New Balance athlete. What does it feel like? A lot of these kids are getting to know what the professional side of things is like. You're on a commercial. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it always surprises me. So whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's very funny, and I don't know, but it's very special to represent New Balance and be here and kind of get to be visible in that way and talk to the kids and, yeah, just celebrating that.
You've made the World Championships before. What do you hope to do now in the future?
Well, continue to represent New Balance and hopefully Team USA again on the grand stage. That's always the goal, and that's what we toe the line and think about.
Well, good luck to you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
I guess I'm a little intimidated because everyone is such a great runner. Well, I've never ran in a national race before, so I'm really excited for it. I'm also really nervous, but I'm just hoping to have a good time and just do the best I can, and that's all I can hope for. So.
It just seems like such an awesome experience. I think it's awesome that
The whole atmosphere here is just like getting to know people and having fun and kind of just like celebrating the season and finishing off with one last race. So I'm just really excited for that.
I'm really excited about just the experience in general. It's definitely more than just a race. And I think just knowing the course is kind of like a confidence booster. I mean, you know what to expect and everything. So I think I just want to kind of take that knowledge from last year and just see what happens out there.
I'm in a small class, so most of my races, like even state, I was out there all by myself. But then Midwest regionals, that was like an eye-opener. It was like really big and it was crowded, and so I'm learning from that. I'll get better, but that was pretty hard, I guess.
Lots of guys in the race can push you from the Midwest. What does that feel like?
It's pretty awesome, and we're all really close. Me and Dylan compete together all the time. We live about 20 minutes apart. I've known Clayton for years now as a competitor, so we're already close as it is. And then between Zach Kraft, he's also committed to Notre Dame. So I think that we're just a tight-knit group of guys, and that even though they're not your real teammates, it's almost just like for the weekend they are, and it's fun having them, and it almost makes you all want to run faster. So I'm excited to have such a good group of guys.
I'm just really grateful to be here. It's a great opportunity. It's really cool meeting everybody and talking to everybody. I just talked to Connor Lane, who ran it last year, came 7th last year, a couple of minutes ago, and he just was telling me about how great it was. I'm hoping I just go out there and have fun, make it a fun race.
I really wanted to qualify, and being able to have a good race at regionals makes me really motivated for Saturday, and I really hope I can recreate that regional race and run something similar. But I think what's most important is that I'm here in a new experience, so I just really want to get everything I can out of it and just have fun.
All right, you guys, I'm here with Olympic finalist Boris Berrien. Olympic finalist, what does that mean?
Oh, pretty much all the hard work I've done coming together.
Yeah, you know, you've also won the world indoors here in the U.S. That's pretty awesome as well. You're here talking with all of these kids, helping them dream big, and I want to say you are the crowd favorite. Last night they were loving you. So what does it mean to be at the Foot Locker Championships?
It's a great honor. You know, this meet has been put on for 39 years, almost 40. So, you know, there's a lot of tradition, and, you know, I hope that keeps going forward. And it's really fun hanging out with all the kids and possibly the future of the United States track and field.
You know, we have a couple kids in this race that have run 153, 152 for the 800 meters, and they're looking to run 5,000 meters today. That's a long jump. What is your advice for them?
No matter what, it's going to hurt. So if you can push through the pain better than all your competition, then you're going to get through it.
Well, we know a guy that can run 143. He knows pain. So thank you for being here. We appreciate everything, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Carrie, thank you. I'm here with Samia Akbar, who is the running events coordinator for New Balance. We've heard a lot about what New Balance is doing with this race and this event here today. Samia, how are you?
I'm doing great.
You mentioned that you're from Boston, and
yes.
So the weather is doing okay for you, right?
This weather is unbelievable. So happy to be here.
Tell us about some of the new advancements that New Balance is bringing to the gear.
So we feel so special about this partnership with Foot Locker, and this event has, of course, an amazing, amazing history, but we just want to celebrate the accomplishments of these runners through all of the awesome gear. They get 2 pairs of shoes that one of their trainers hasn't even hit the market yet in the Zante, the newest version. And we're outfitting them with stuff that just makes them feel amazing, that comes from our data to design. So these athletes that you see here have inspired all the technical pieces of all of our product that the high school runners are going to be wearing and racing in today. So we're just so, so special. You know, we've got the SMU Spike that has the map of Morley Park, of Morley Field here in Balboa Park on the insole, which is just like a commemorative piece, so that kids just can go away with this with just a lasting impression.
It's a map of the course inside their shoe?
Yes, yes, you have that right.
So if they get lost, they can, you know,
just
look,
take their shoe off.
Just take the shoe off,
then,
look to the inside, right, and put it right back on. Samia, thanks for all you do. Thank you for New Balance being a part of this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. And, well, you know, earlier we heard from Corey McGee, and Carrie mentioned that she is in a commercial. Wouldn't you know it? We have that commercial for you right now.
All right, I'm down here with Abby D'Agostino. Abby, you are a here we are again. We're down here with Abby D'Agostino. I want everyone to know that this is a 7-time NCAA champion. You also have that heartbreaking but also so inspiring story of making the Olympic team and falling in the first lap. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, that the prelim of the 5,000 last summer didn't go down quite as I expected, but you know, it ended up being such a beautiful thing to be a part of. I just feel thankful that I was, you know, part of this story that I could share with, you know, young people and really all different audiences about what matters above and beyond the competition and what really brings us together.
You got pretty injured though in that fall.
I did, yeah. I tore my ACL and meniscus and had surgery soon after the race. But thankfully now I'm all healed up and training again and back to racing. And it's just exciting to be back on the track again, yeah.
Yeah, we are so thrilled to see you back racing. And you're racing fast over cross-country courses already. But what does it mean to be here for you and seeing all these young athletes?
I mean, from the bottom of my heart, this is just so special. I wasn't even close to really competing here when I was a high school athlete. So, but, you know, I wasn't actually a trackie at all, but I did watch the race streaming live and was so inspired. I can't remember, I think the race that the Jordan Hsay won. So to be here live and with New Balance is, you know, it's unforgettable. I'm really excited for these guys today.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your Olympic story, and good luck to you.
Thanks, Carrie.
Back to you, Steve.
Hey, thanks, Carrie. Tim, we met half of the boys already in the video. We have 20 more to meet. These are from the Midwest and the South.
Drew Bosley, Thiensville, Wisconsin.
Schwebel Jabli, Coldwater, Michigan.
Matthew Shadler, Evansville, Indiana.
Horizon Scudamore, Denver, Colorado.
Chad Johnson, Gallion, Ohio.
Dylan Jacobs, Orland Park, Illinois.
Matt Scrape, Pickerington, Ohio.
Clayton Mendez, Chicago, Illinois.
My name is Zach Krift. I'm from Sunbury, Ohio.
Danny Kilray, LaGrange Park, Illinois.
Cameron Fisher, Fayetteville, Arkansas.
David Melville, Summerfield, North Carolina.
Jake Renfrey, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Kyle Harkabus, Atlanta, Georgia.
Titus Winders, Mansfield, Tennessee.
Carter Coughlin, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Carter Cheeseman, Keller, Texas.
Graydon Morris, Aledo, Texas.
Michael Phillips, Tallahassee, Florida.
John Tatter, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Welcome back to Balboa Park in sunny San Diego as the weather heats up just a bit. We continue with our pre-race coverage, and I am joined by Mount SAC President Dr. Bill Scroggins, who has some exciting news to share with people who haven't already heard about it. Tim, I'll let you take it away from here.
Dr. Scroggins, Mount SAC has become an integral part of Foot Locker, but you're becoming an integral part of both the cross country and track and field in the world, literally, aren't you?
We are, yes. We're really excited to take the track and field work at Mount SAC to the next level and have a facility that's equal to what the athletes need to really succeed, to have a stadium and a field that's designed for the maximum performance. One of the things I've been learning as a college president about how the track and the layout of the field, the wind direction and so on is so important. We're literally designing this stadium from the ground up to maximize the performance potential of the runners and the other competitors in track and field that'll come to the Summer Olympic Trials at Mount San Antonio College in June of 2020.
So there it is. In 2020, the entire United States track and field world will be centered in Walnut, California at Mount SAC. That's got to be so exciting for everybody at Mount SAC.
Absolutely it is, yes. we really appreciate to have, over the years, some of the best track and field athletes come to the Mount Sac relays. And so that experience has shown us how important it is to have a venue where the top people compete against each other. So why not go for the best in the world to compete against each other, and that's U.S. athletes in track and field.
That's very exciting. The also cross-country course is famed throughout the world, literally, and that'll be beautiful cross-country. It'll be the best cross-country course in the country, won't it?
It will, yes, and 50 years of experience there. I was told when doing construction, don't touch a meter of that cross-country, because all of those records were established on exactly, you know, no cutting down, poop out hill, none of that stuff. All of that challenge, and it is a challenging course, is still there and still will be there. The finish of that race will be in our new stadium.
Well, hey, we appreciate so much for what you've done for Foot Locker and what you're doing for the sport of track and field. It is outstanding. We want to thank you, Dr. Scroggins, and Mount Sac. It is a wonderful thing that your folks are doing.
Yep. You're welcome, and it's a pleasure to expand the visibility of this important sport that contributes to the health and welfare of so many Americans.
Dr. Scroggins, thank you so much for stopping by. In 2020, I know it sounds like a big number, but it's 2.5 years away. It's going to be here before we know it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's head downstairs to Carrie.
Well, we're right here at the finish line, and speaking of 2020, Brenda Martinez, our 2016 Olympian, thinking about the Olympics already in 2020. What does it mean for you to be here, but then also thinking about, 2.5 years from now?
I think it's just the whole journey. Taking it every year as a stepping stone and just improving on that, learning about yourself. It's going to come by quick. It always does. So this next Olympic cycle might be a little bit different, or at least I hope so. Yeah, I'll be more focused on the 1500. And yeah, I think it's just a journey about it. So.
What have you been doing with the kids here this weekend?
Just trying to be the guidance, the coaching, if they need to pull me aside and talk, then I'm there for them. But yeah, make it fun as well. So it's a really good experience for the kids, and I think New Balance has done a really good job. And Foot Locker just keeps going strong every year, and but to have New Balance on board makes a world of a difference.
So you're a 157 half girl, focusing now on the 1500. Can we talk about your goals?
Breaking 4. I think that's one of the main goals. Yeah, I know I'm knocking on the door. I'm just waiting for the right race. And hopefully it's a fast summer.
Well, good luck to you, and we'll see you in 2020.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Brenda. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Carrie. So we've
Taryn
already...
Parks, Greencastle, Pennsylvania.
Abby Levies, Randolph, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Lawler from South Kingstown, Rhode Island.
Abigail Green, Bethesda, Maryland.
Savannah Shaw, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Paige Lester, Washington, D.C.
Morgan McCormick, Wilton, Connecticut.
Jackie Gaughan, Exeter, New Hampshire.
Catherine Lee, Wading River, New York.
Marley Starlipper, Wellsville, Pennsylvania.
Patricia Meisner from Chula Vista, California.
I'm Alyssa Fielding, and I'm from Orem, Utah.
I'm Annika Reese. I'm from Bellingham, Washington.
Chloe Arriaga, Walnut, California.
Kristen Garcia from Cedar Woolley, Washington.
Alyssa Bautista, San Clemente, California.
My name is Alzay Harkey, and I'm from Roseville, California.
I'm Camille Winterton, and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Katie Thronson, Spokane, Washington.
Claudia Lane, Malibu, California.
So the first half of the girls right there will meet the second half, the 20 that we haven't heard from in just a moment. But it's like a revolving door downstairs of athletes and the who's of this race, Tim. Carrie apparently has secured a couple other people who have been very instrumental in all of this. Carrie.
Yes, well, I am so thankful to be down here with the East Bay reps, Brian Becker and Jordan Eschbach. You guys are here, and you have such a great story, being from East Bay, supporting Foot Locker. Brian Becker, Jordan Eschbach, what does Foot Locker and running down in high school level mean to East Bay?
Well, definitely. East Bay's roots lie with high school runners. Our founders, Art and Rick, sold running shoes and racing flats from the trunk of their car across Wisconsin to make sure runners had what they need to perform. So today, that's what it's all about, and what matters most to East Bay, being the performance brand of the Foot Locker family. We're excited to be a part of today's activities.
Yeah, it's been so fun to have you guys here. And I saw you the other night at the dinner, and I said thank you from an athlete and now an alumni for putting on this show and for helping. So, Brian, have you had a great time here?
I'm having a great time. I can't wait to get home, strap on the shoes, and get out the door.
It's addicting, isn't it? You want to do it.
Once a runner, always a runner.
There you go. Well, thanks, Brian, and thanks, Jordan, and thank you, East Bay, for everything.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Carrie. Okay, still about a half hour away from our first race, which will be the girls. We met the first half of them, Tim, and who do we meet now?
I think we have the girls coming up here from the Midwest and the South, I believe.
Riley Robinson, West Bloomfield, Michigan.
Tierney Wolfgram, Woodbury, Minnesota.
Adeline Ackley, Mears, Michigan.
Cecilia Stalzer, Mason, Michigan.
Hi, I'm Phoebe Bates, and I'm from Carmel, Indiana.
Erica Vanderland, Rockford, Michigan.
Sarah Schmidt from Naperville, Illinois.
Emily Covert, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Caitlin Hart, Glen Ellen, Illinois.
Olivia Tice, Lansing, Michigan.
Heidi Nielsen, Katy, Texas. I'm Adawet Vaughn from Dallas, Texas.
Alyssa Hendricks, Riverview, Florida.
Heather Holt, Fairfax, Virginia.
Helena Rockman, Montgomery, Texas.
Bailey Hartenstein, Brandon, Florida.
Mariah Howlett, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Anna Wallace, Tallahassee, Florida.
Victoria Starcher, Ripley, West Virginia.
I'm Rebecca Story from Knoxville, Tennessee.
There you have it. We have met all of them, but we still have a little ways to go. And Carrie, you are a busy woman this morning. Who do you have now?
I am a busy woman this morning, but I'm so honored to have our world champion in the house, Emma Coburn. Emma, this has just been a wonderful year for you. You just got married. Now you have your medals. You have 2 medals, a bronze medal from the Olympics and now a gold. How fun is life right now?
It's been a really fun 2017, and this is kind of the cherry on top. It's the last of my traveling, and I'm so happy to be here at Foot Locker with all of these great athletes. I never qualified here in high school, and so I'm just in awe of how talented these kids are and how hard they've had to work to qualify. And so I'm just giddy and a fan being here, and it's been a fun way to end the year.
Yeah, I mean, even though you are so inspirational for all of us, it is pretty inspiring to be rubbing shoulders with these athletes.
Yeah, I think sometimes they're so good that you forget how young they are, and they are so poised for their age, and it's something I really admire, and I think that these kids have such a bright future in front of them, and I think the whole atmosphere here really respects that and respects them and applauds them, and it's been really enjoyable to watch, you know, all the kids open their gear and be decked out in their New Balance swag, and have all the officials and the staff here be so positive and encouraging. It's been a really fun thing to watch, and I'm excited to watch the races too.
Yeah, it's close. It's getting close. Thank you so much. Congratulations on everything, and thank you for being such a great role model. It's so fun to see you here.
Thanks, Carrie. Good luck, guys.
Back to you guys.
Hey, thanks, Carrie. And really, she nailed it on the head. Such a long journey to get here, Tim. And we forget that there are a bunch of talented runners who didn't make it here.
You know, there's a couple boys that were right in the mix of it last year that didn't get out of their regional. I mean, there's only one way to get here. You got to be in the top 10 in one of the 4 regionals, and it's tough.
All right, Emily Sisson, you have finished across this line 4 times. I mean, you are 4-time Foot Locker finalist. And last night, you were inducted into the Hall of Fame, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It was such an honor.
What does it mean to be back here? And I'm sure you and we both get those goosebumps every time we come. So what does it feel like?
Oh, it's incredible. This was like my favorite race all throughout high school, and coming back and just seeing all the kids going through exactly what we went through, it does give me goosebumps, and it makes me really excited and gives me all these good feelings.
So 4 times you ran here. What advice do you have for these kids that might just be hearing you speak right now?
Okay, my best piece of advice is probably just to like run within yourself for the first half of the race, and just feel strong that second time, because the second time you go up the hill is a little bit harder than the first. So
that hill is no joke.
No, it's not. There's a reason everyone brings it up, but yeah, just have confidence. You made it here. You're one of the best, and you're amongst the best. So just have confidence.
You're one of the best in the world. You just ran in the World Championships. You had a phenomenal debut at your half marathon in New York last year. Talk about your future in this sport.
Oh, yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like there's a lot of things still ahead of me, and that's one of the great things about this sport is just there's always something next, always something, just a new goal that you're trying to achieve. But yeah, right now I'm also just trying to like enjoy the moment, and I hope these kids can do the same, because this is a big accomplishment making it here.
This is where it all started.
Yeah, it is.
And now you are a coach for the Midwest, is it?
The Northeast this year, okay. Yeah.
Well, good luck to you, good luck to your team, and let's get this race underway. Congratulations on your Hall of Fame again.
Thanks, Gary.
Back to you guys.
Well, Carrie, thank you. One of the people that worked so hard to put this great event on, we have Janine Zox, who's the VP of Strategic Alliances for Foot Locker. Janine, back again. What does this race mean to you?
Hi, Steve. Well, thank you. Welcome, everyone, to our 39th running of the Foot Locker Cross Country Championships. What this means to us, to the Foot Locker team, it's giving us the opportunity to talk to these kids, to say, hey, we appreciate, we understand, and we are there for you as you accomplish every run, every race. And being able to be here as one of the 80 athletes is a fantastic accomplishment. And we are proud and honored to do this for the past 39 years.
So cool. And as we haven't even done the races yet today, but we look forward to next year. That's going to be the 40th. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I mean, 40 years of a company supporting a sport like this is remarkable, but we could not do it without our partners of New Balance. And what New Balance did this past weekend is phenomenal. They took care of the kids. They looked at the kids and said, you know what, you're our #1 concern, and they did it, and they did it with flying colors, and our hats off to them. And East Bay is also a part of our Foot Locker Inc. family, and they've been a part of this, and they understand the consumer as well. So I could not ask for 2 better partners to talk to these high school athletes.
You know the ins and outs not only of this race, but of the weekend-long event. What is your favorite part?
My favorite part is when they first come, and the joy and the scaredness of it, and they're like, what is new, what's not new, what should I do, what should I can't do, but you know what, that's the high school kid, and it's just seeing the innocence of a high school runner is amazing. And when they all finish, that is the best thing. 80 runners finish in our eyes and our heart from the Foot Locker team. 80 runners finishing is what it's all about. It's not about a winner, it's being here and being able to run.
And I would imagine a little bit of pride creeps in when you're sitting at home watching the Olympics or a big marathon and you say, wait, that's a Foot Locker.
And let me tell you, every time I see that, I jump out of a screen. I love knowing to see these runners go on to accomplishments and to go on to the Olympics and go on to marathons to win. It is such a great feeling to know that they started with us. It really is where they all began.
Well, Janine, I know you're busy this morning, so thanks for stopping by and sharing some thoughts with us. Speaking of getting some thoughts, let's hear from some of the favorites from the girls.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is just stay relaxed, and you know, last year went really well. That's, you know, one of my best accomplishments, and so I think just being here again is just so special. It's such a unique event, and definitely I think it's special to have a whole team of South girls all out here and just getting to know them better.
It just seems like such an awesome experience. I think it's awesome that the whole atmosphere here is just like getting to know people and having fun and kind of just like celebrating the season and finishing off with one last race. So I'm just really excited for that.
It was a lot of fun. I got out like with the lead group and kind of just worked my way up from there. Made my move at like the 2.5 mile mark, or a little before that maybe, and just kind of held on from there.
I was definitely more comfortable with it. Last year I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. It was all so new. But having experienced it last year, it's really fun to come back and kind of be familiar with it. It's kind of just like a new way to kind of look at it. I think in general I've become a lot more strategic runner. I think you know, having had experience from last year and kind of getting the knowledge that I need to know about running and how to be like a smarter and more mature runner, I think that's definitely helped me this year and kind of developed me as a runner. When I'm racing, I kind of just go into this zone and like I see how I'm feeling, and like, you know, like during Mount Sac, the record is kind of in the back of my mind. You know, starting the race, I was like, okay, maybe I can get this, maybe I can't. Let's see how I'm feeling. And I think when I get to the mile mark, I can kind of tell if I'm gonna be able to, you know, like keep pushing at the pace I'm going at and trying to, like, you know, attain that record. And I think, you know, I'm just gonna see how I feel, and if I feel good, I'm gonna really go for it, and you know, I'm gonna try my best to go for it.
So obviously 40 girls getting ready to run this race, but there's really a handful that you're keeping an extra close eye on this morning.
Well, when you have a defending champ, you have to go to the defending champ first, obviously. Claudia Lane hasn't been beaten by another high school girl in a cross-country race for 15 months. And she ran outstanding race here last year. She's had a tremendous season. She's fresher than she was last year. She's been breaking course record. She's not only won every race she's run this year, she's broken the course record every single place she ran. And the course record she's breaking, Sarah Baxter's 16 minutes that she broke at Mount Sac. Claudia's the first girl ever to break 16 at Mount Sac. She did that, Sarah did that in 2012, and that's that year, Sarah Baxter's great year where she won the NXN in 2012. She beat Mary Keene, she beat Alexa Ephraimson. The same record that Amber Trotter set at Mount Sac was in 2001, and Claudia just obliterated that. In 2001 was the year Amber Trotter went back to Florida when we were there with Foot Locker and won that race by 40 seconds over a field that was great. Molly Huddle was in that race. So the record she's been setting and the way she's just been dismantling those has been phenomenal. So I think you got to go right off the bat and say that's our favorite. But we got others, huh, Carrie?
There's a lot of other ones out there, but, you know, Rebecca Story, she was third here last year. She's one of our top returners as well. She says that she feels a little different this year. She feels a little bit more calm. She's excited to be back, but also one big thing with her coach told me that last year her tune-up was a race. This year, her tune-up was a tune-up. So,
that was her 9:59. She ran on the track.
Her 9:59, yes. So her tune-up was a tune-up, so she really kind of just eased her way through that a little bit better than she did last year. Now, along with Rebecca, we have Olivia Tice out of the Midwest as well. She wants to run fast. She wants to do better than she did here last year. She's been dominating the Midwest and her state. So, you know, those are the two big names as well.
And Marley Starple, the regional champion also. Just a sophomore, but hey, to win the regional, that's one of the keys to being a Foot Locker national champion.
Well, we are at that place where we get to head down to the field and really get things going. We want to welcome the Morse High School Junior ROTC for this morning's color guard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And by the way, we want to thank Gina and Julia Bulios for the singing of our national anthem this morning. We get a good look over to the high school girls who are warming up. They each have their own individual routines. They are getting close, and we are getting close to the first of two races here for the Foot Locker Cross Country National Championships. Thanks to those of you who are here in person to see it. You're wearing shorts and flip-flops, and maybe for those of you who are at home looking out to snow or ice or something very cold and wet and different from what we're having here, we are glad that you are watching online as well. It is going to be an exciting race as we get the girls going here in just a few minutes, Tim.
It should be outstanding. The conditions could not be better. So there will be no excuses at the end of this day. We'll see how fast these girls can run, and it will be exciting. There's just no getting around it.
You know, there's been a lot of elements that they've had to deal with at the different regions, but in particular at the Midwest, quite muddy and, you know, a little bit windy. So when you come out to San Diego, you know what to expect, and everyone knows that. And it's kind of a nice, almost calming feeling, thinking, we're going to get out there. The ground isn't going to be muddy. It's going to be a nice weather. There's not a lot of wind here. You know, we've had winds the past couple days, but nothing real crazy here. So you kind of have that sense of relief knowing you don't have to pack a ton of things. You don't have to bring duct tape for your shoes, you know, those kind of things. You don't have to bring different size spikes, all of that stuff. So it is a nice calming feeling for these athletes.
Are they wearing shoes or spikes?
Today they're wearing spikes. Yeah, they rarely go over. There's a couple times they go over the pavement, but not very many steps have to be taken over the pavement. So they'll be wearing their spikes.
Fantastic. Okay, Tim, are we ready to meet some of these gals? Are we almost there yet? We see them gathering behind the Foot Locker sign there.
We're just about ready to go. Carrie, you're right. The weather will not be a factor here.
It never really is.
No.
But, you know, it is supposed to get warmer today, but the athletes have been hydrating. And, you know, I can remember one of the coaches yesterday coming up to us, old athletes, saying, you know, drink your water. It's dry out here. You still have to be prepared for those things. But what an exciting day. And here we get to meet the athletes.
And we'll start with the team captain.
It is our pleasure now to introduce you the 40 best young high school female distance runners in the country. We'd like to begin with the Northeast girls under the leadership of their director, Phil Zoda, and their coachers. 7-time NCAA champion while at Dartmouth, Abby DiGastino. And their second coach, 4-time Foot Locker national finalist, NCAA champion, the 5,000, also a New Balance athlete, Emily Sisson. And now our regional runners from the Northeast, wearing bib number 20, a sophomore from Greencastle Antrim High School in Pennsylvania. She made it to the Foot Locker Nationals last year as just a freshman. She followed that up by running 4:45 for 1,600 and winning the Pennsylvania State Championship in track, 10th in the regional, Taryn Parks. Wearing bib 19, a junior from Randolph High School in New Jersey. She's the New Jersey Group 4 state champion in cross country this year. She's run 4:52 for 1,600, 9th in the region, Abby Lovies. Wearing bib 18, a senior from South Kingstown High School in Rhode Island. She ran a great race here in 2015 to place 14th in the Foot Locker Nationals. This year she won her 3rd consecutive Rhode Island State Championship in cross country. Off to Syracuse in the fall, 8th in this region. This is Eleanor Lawler. Wearing bib 17, a senior from Walter Johnson High School in Maryland. She's a Foot Locker National returner, placed 21st here last year. In track last spring, she was the Maryland State Champ at 3,200 meters. She followed that up by winning the state championship in cross country. She'll run for the University of Virginia next year, 7th in the region. This is Abby Green. Wearing bib 16, a senior from Upper St. Clair High School in Pennsylvania. After finishing 35th in the Northeast Regional last year, this year she improved all the way up to 6th place to earn her spot here in the Nationals. She'll run for North Carolina State next year, Savannah Shaw. Wearing bib 15, a senior from National Cathedral School in Washington, D.C. This is her second year qualifying for Foot Locker Nationals. She won the Maryland and D.C. Private Schools Championship in cross country this year for the second year in a row. She'll attend Princeton in the fall. 5th in the region, Paige Lester. Wearing bib 14, a senior from Wilton High School in Connecticut. This year she won her second consecutive Connecticut State Championship in cross country. Also state champion at 3,200 indoors. 4th in the region, Morgan McCormick. Wearing bib 13, a senior from Exeter High in New Hampshire. She had a great race here in San Diego last year, placing 11th in the Nationals. She was both New Hampshire and all New England States champion this year in cross country. In track, state champion at 3,200 meters and set a new state record. She'll join the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame next year. 3rd in the region, Jackie Gaughan. Wearing bib 12, a senior from Shoreham-Wading River High School in New York. She's run 2:11 for 800 on the track. This year she won her race in the Manhattan Invitational and then went on to win her 3rd New York State Cross Country Championship. Next fall, she's off to Georgetown. Runner-up in the region, this is Catherine Lee. And wearing bib number 11, just a sophomore from Northern High in Pennsylvania. 4:49 last spring at 1,600 on the track as just a freshman. She capped off an undefeated sophomore cross-country season by setting numerous course records and winning the Pennsylvania State Championship, and then going on to become the Foot Locker Northeast Regional Champion, Marley Starlipper. And now our pleasure to introduce our girls from the South, our defending team champions. Under the direction of their director, Max Mayo, we'd like to introduce their coaches. First, she was the 2014 USATF National Champion at 10,000, two-time a U.S. Olympian, a New Balance athlete, Kim Conley. And also now a runner for New Balance. She was 5-time state champion in cross country, 17-time state champion in high school in track. This is Corey McGee. And now introducing our girls from the South here, wearing bib number 30, one of only 2 freshmen here to make it to the Nationals this year, from Cinco High School in Texas, the district and regional champion. Then she ran 17:26 to place 4th in the Texas Division 6A state meet, 10th in the region. This is Heidi Nielsen. Wearing bib 29, a junior from Hockaday High School in Texas, the fastest freshman in Texas in 2015, the fastest sophomore in 2016, and this year she won her 3rd straight SPC championship, 9th in the South region, Adawet Vaughn. Wearing bib 28, a sophomore from Riverview High School in Florida. She placed 1st at 6 different invitationals this season, and she was runner-up in the Florida 4A state meet. 8th in our region, this is Alyssa Hendricks. Wearing bib 27, a senior from George C. Marshall High School in Virginia. This is her 2nd time qualifying for Foot Locker Nationals. In her 4 years in high school, she's never placed lower than 3rd in the state meet. She won 7 individual state titles in track. She'll join the Wolfpack at North Carolina State next year. 7th in our regional, Heather Holtz. Wearing bib 26, a junior from Montgomery High School in Texas. This year she won the district regional and Texas Division 6A state championship. 6th in the region, Helena Rahman. Wearing bib 25, a senior from Newsom High School in Florida. This is their 2nd year Foot Locker Nationals, having placed 20th last year. This year she won the Florida 4A state cross country title for the 3rd straight year. 5th in the regional, Bailey Hertenstein. Wearing bib 24, a senior from Lake Norman Charter High School in North Carolina. She was state champ at both 16 and 3,200 meters last spring. This fall she was the state champion in cross country. She'll attend North Carolina State in the fall. 4th in the regional, Mariah Howlett. Wearing bib 23, a senior from Lawton Childs High School in Florida. She not only won the Florida 3A individual state title in cross country this fall, but she also led her team to the team championship. Third in the South Regional, Anna Wallace. Wearing bib 22, just a sophomore from Ripley High School in West Virginia. She was state champion in track at 800, 1600, and 3200 meters. This fall, she won the individual state championship in cross country, and she was runner-up in the South Regional, Victoria Starcher. And wearing bib 21, a senior from Christian Academy of Knoxville in Tennessee. She placed third here last year in the Foot Locker National Championships. She is undefeated this year in cross country, winning her second straight Tennessee State Championship. She ran 9:59.80 just 2 weeks ago for 3,200 meters on the track. She'll head west after high school and attend Stanford in the fall. She is our Southern Regional Champion, Rebecca Story. And now it is our pleasure to introduce our 10 qualifiers from the Midwest. They'll be under the leadership of their director, Peter Hankus. And we'd like to introduce their coach. This is the 2017 World Champion and American record holder in the steeplechase, running for New Balance now, Emma Coburn. And the only sophomore ever to win a Foot Locker National Championship, two-time champion. He's coming around the corner right there, Lucas Verzbickus. And now, wearing bib number 40, a junior from Waterford Mott High School in Michigan. She's run 4:54 for 1,600, 10:37 for 3,200 on the track. This falls third in the Michigan State Cross Country Championships, 10th in our region, Riley Robinson. All right, wearing bib 39, just a freshman from Math and Science Academy in Minnesota. State champion last spring at both 16 and 3,200 meters as just an 8th grader. This fall, she won her second Minnesota Class A Cross Country Championship, 9th in our region, Tierney Wolfgram. Wearing bib 38, a junior from Hart High in Michigan. She not only won the Michigan State Division III individual title, but she also led her school to the state team championship. She's run 10:29 for 3,200 on the track, 8 in the region, Adeline Ackley. Wearing bib 37, a junior from Mason High in Michigan. She finished as runner-up to Olivia Tice in the Michigan State Division II Cross Country Championships. She was 7th in the Foot Locker Midwest region, Cecilia Stalzer. Wearing bib 36, just a sophomore from Carmel, Indiana. After winning her section and regional champions, she went on to place second in the Indiana State Finals, Phoebe Bates. Wearing bib 35, a junior from Rockford High School in Michigan. She capped off a great 2017 cross-country season by winning the Michigan State Division I Individual Championship, 5th in the region. This is Erica Vanderlen. And wearing bib 34, a senior from Naperville, Illinois. She placed 5th in the Illinois State Cross Country Championships and was 8th last week in the NXN, 4th in the Foot Locker Midwest Regional, Sarah Schmidt. Wearing bib 33, a junior from Minneapolis Washburn High School in Minnesota. She began this cross-country season by winning the GRIAC Invitational, and she ended it by winning her second straight Minnesota Class AA State Championship. She's run 10:31 for 3,200 on the track, 3rd in the region, Emily Covert. And wearing bib 32, just a sophomore from Glenbard West in Illinois. Last spring, she was Illinois State Champion at both 16 and 3,200 meters. She set the national indoor 2-mile record for freshmen, running 10:21. This fall, she repeated as Illinois Division III State Champion, runner-up in the Midwest region. This is Caitlin Hart. And wearing bib 31, a senior from Lansing Catholic High School in Michigan. She placed 14th here last year in the Foot Locker Nationals. This year, she's been on a tear. She not only won the Michigan Division II State Championship, but she also set a new course record in doing so. She was state champ last year at both 16 and 3,200 meters. She's run 4:50 on the track and 10:30. She's going to stay home in state next year and will attend the University of Michigan. Here is our Midwest Regional Champion, Olivia Tice. course, our girls from the West. But first, we'd like to acknowledge the leadership of their director, Doug Todd, and their coaches. She's from the West, 2016 U.S. Olympian. She's run 1:57 for 800 on the track, representing New Balance, Brenda Martinez. And now he's the 2016 World Indoor Champion at 800 meters, representing New Balance, Boris Berrien. And now, wearing bib number 50, just a sophomore from Eastlake, California. Eastlake is just about 20 miles from where she stands right now. She was the San Diego Section Division I champion in cross country, 10th in the region, Patty Meissner. Wearing bib 49, a senior from Mountain View High School in Utah. She capped out an outstanding senior year by first winning the Region 10 title and then capturing the Utah State Division 4A Cross Country Championship. She'll attend BYU in the fall, 9th in the region, Alyssa Fielding. And wearing bib 48, a junior from Bellingham High School in Washington. She was the Washington State champion at 1,600 meters on the track last spring. In the fall, she placed second in the Division 2A state meet, 8th in the Foot Locker Western Regional, Annika Reese. Wearing bib 47, a junior from Walnut High School in California. This year she won the Rose Meet, Sunny Hills, and Brea Invitationals, and 2 weeks ago she placed 8th in the California Division I State Championship, 7th in the Regional, Chloe Arriaga. And wearing bib 46, a senior from Cedro Woolley High School in Washington. This is her second year at Foot Locker Nationals. This year she dominated the Washington Division II State Championship to win that individual title. But she's going to head east next year and run for the University of Wisconsin. She was 6th in our region, Kristen Garcia. And wearing bib 45, a senior from Capistrano Valley in California. She's been on a roll these past 3 weeks. She ran a great race in the California State Meet to place 4th in Division II, and then she followed that up last week with even more impressive 5th place finish in the Foot Locker Western Regional. She'll be a UCLA Bruin next year. This is Alicia Batista. Wearing bib 44, a senior from Oakmont High School in California. This year she won the California Sac Joaquin Section Championship, then ran a great race to place 5th in the California State Meet Division II. Hey, she enjoys it so much here in San Diego, she's going to stay and go to San Diego State University next year, 4th in the Foot Locker Western Region, Alice Hartke. And wearing bib 43, a senior from Skyline High School in Utah. After winning the Utah Region 6A Cross Country Championship this fall, she went on to place 3rd in the Division 5A State Meet, 4th in the Foot Locker Western Regional, Camille Winterton. Wearing bib 42, a senior from Lewis and Clark High School in Washington. She was a 2016 Foot Locker All-American. This year she won the Washington 4A Division Individual State Championship and led her school to the team title. She also won the Nike Border Clash. She will head south next year and run for the Volunteers of Tennessee. Runner-up in the Western Regional, Katie Thronson. And wearing bib 41, a junior from Malibu High School in California. She ran 9:57 for 3,200 meters on the track last spring to win the Arcadia Invitational. She's undefeated this year in cross country. She set a new course record at the Mount Sac Invitational, becoming the first girl ever to break 16 minutes on that course. 2 weeks ago, she not only won the California State Division IV Championship, but she shattered the overall course record. And last week, she repeated as the Foot Locker Western Regional Champion with the largest margin of victory ever, 72 seconds. She is the defending Foot Locker National Champion, Claudia Lane.
Well, there you have it, and there they are lined up for the start of the 2017 Foot Locker Cross Country Championships. Final thoughts from you guys.
You know, it's going to be an amazing race. There's a lot of people that are looking at a few people in this race that have some big names out there, but I think every single one of these athletes could surprise all of us and have a great day today. So congratulations to you ladies getting getting underway here at this Foot Locker Cross Country Championships, and just best wishes to you all.
That's great point, Carrie. It's been a long year for some of these girls. This is a great race for them. I know they want to do well. There's a ton of pressure on them, but we'll just see who has to come out of that today and who will be the stars. But you're right, all 40, these are stars here in this country.
You mentioned Claudia. Do you expect her to take the lead? And what do you expect here from the first start?
I'm smiling because if you've seen Claudia race and you asked if she expects to take the lead, yes, that would be the surest bet of the year. Yes, Claudia likes to run from the front. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, well, they are getting warmed up. We are close. We haven't talked much about the course yet. This first part of it, mostly grass, and then you get into some dirt.
You know, it's a great course because it's a true cross-country course. It's grass, it's dirt, it's hills, and there really is no flat part. You're running some kind of terrain that's a little bit up or a little bit down. Then when we go across the road, it's a lot of bit up. The 2017 Foot Locker National Championship. And as we mentioned, boy, everybody's going to go out hard. Now, this is a good part of the course because it's uphill just a little bit for about 150 meters, and then we head downhill. And, Stephen, as we mentioned, right to the front there in that lime glow, I think is what they call that color. But her West teammates right out with her. But, Carrie, everybody's going to watch her, aren't they? They're going to feed off her, and that'll determine their race plans, won't it?
Yeah, you know, we watched the webcast from last year, and that was the same thing last year in the women's race where we saw Claudia really take control. And she said that yesterday in her interview with me. She said, I am not afraid to take it out. She is not afraid of the record. You know, she wants to win this race first, but she definitely has the record on her mind. So, you know, I'm not surprised to see her pushing early on this way. And to win her region by 72 seconds, and most of her races by well over 40 seconds, this girl knows how to run on her own, and she has to think about her race plan right now. She can't get too worried about what everyone else is thinking.
Well, then everybody else has to stay with their race plan.
Exactly.
If this is going to be a fast first mile, then they have to. Last year, Nevada Moreno was very smart, ran very conservative, and moved up well throughout the race. You can't get too caught up in that, can you?
Well, you know what? I think it's interesting that you bring up Nevada Moreno, who was an 800 meters, 1500 meters, 1600 meter specialist. That was someone that worked her way back up to Claudia. Claudia is a true distance runner, and for you to be a true distance runner on this course, you have to get out. You can't expect to work your way up. So it's interesting. You see Catherine Hart, excuse me, in Caitlin Hart, I'm getting all these names mixed up. Caitlin Hart there leading kind of the second pack there. She's more of a middle distance runner right now, running fast over 800 meters and 1600 meters. So I'm not surprised to see her leading that second pack.
That is a great pack, though. Everybody right in that group. Nobody's going to let anybody get away. But it is certainly the story is Claudia Lane out very quickly here. We'll get a half-mile split as they go around. And, you know, it would be remiss if we did not mention the course record is that incredible. What some people consider the greatest high school race ever run was Melody Fairchild's 16:39. Only 7 girls have ever broken 17 minutes on this course. However, when Melody Fairchild ran that 16:39 the year before, she won that race and ran 17:05. Claudia last year, 17:04.
I don't know if people understand how good Melody Fairchild is. We talk about her every year. She is someone that was such a talent in high school, went on and ran in college, and still running now. She ran last year, won the Masters Championship at the USA Cross Country Championship, so she's still very good and very, very much in the sport still. But Claudia Lane dominating right now and not even to the first mile.
A little bit faster than last year. She was a little bit over 2:35 last year at 800. This year, 2:34 right there was her split there as she went by. We can see in that second group, Marley Starlipper, the young sophomore from Northern High School, right up in there. Victoria Starcher in there. Mariah Howlett up in there. But that really is a large group. So our pace is a little quicker than last year, and we'll watch that as we go by and see. But as we know, when Melody broke the record, she did not go out really hard. You cannot run a really fast first 800.
Well, you have to be under control, Tim, and we've seen this in all kinds of races, but you have to be under control when you're running at this level. You can't do anything that you haven't done before because things happen and things blow up. So Claudia looks well within herself. The only thing is, and it's not a secret, she's had a little bit of a sore throat the last couple days, whether that's allergies, maybe some of the smoke. I don't think we have any of that really going on over on Coronado Island there, but you know, she has had a little bit of a sore throat, and that can affect you. Now, is she so good that a sore throat doesn't affect her today? We'll have to see.
Boy, she is really taking this pace out. This is incredible. This is a great field. We're talking girls who have run under 10 minutes in that chase pack. And here we are just literally 1,000 meters into the race, and that lead is already 100 yards.
So they've just done sort of a loop and then come back around by where they started here, and now they're going to hit that hill at some point here, Tim. What do you expect from this point on?
Well, that's interesting, Steve, because the hill, it comes up twice. It's about 350 meters long. It's very steep. Right after we hit the mile mark, it's a very steep hill of about 110 meters. But then it doesn't stop. It still just climbs for about another 200 meters. So it takes about 65 seconds to get through the entire top of the hill. But you know, it takes about 15 seconds to get down because it's a very steep downhill. But if you go too hard on that first hill, Drew Hunter had a little trouble with that a couple years ago. He did this same kind of race plan. He was the defending champ, and everybody thought he could run away with it, and he did. And he just charged up the hill the first time. It was one of the fastest ascents we've ever seen. And he had a little trouble going up the second time. So even though you're great, you got to be respectful of that hill.
Yeah, I think going up the second time, their form is sort of going out the door. You're just trying to get up. It's almost like you're climbing up it, and it feels like you're climbing with your hands and feet. It is so steep, and I say it every year, but if you haven't seen the hill, you need to go over and look at it because these athletes are doing it twice.
Carrie, you ran this race 3 times. I don't know if we've mentioned that in our coverage yet so far. So putting yourself in Claudia's shoes and some of the girls who've run it before, what is it like to come back? Does that give you an edge? Having done it?
I do think it does give you an edge. I think a lot of these athletes that are returners definitely have that mentality. And, you know, people get to go home after they've run this race and visualize this course day after day. And I think that is such a good little secret that you can keep within yourself and be able to use in your training, whether you get through your state meet first and then you start thinking about this, or if you've been thinking about it from day one.
So we went by the mile at 5:17, a little faster than last year. She was around 5:19 last year, so a couple seconds quicker than that. And then the rest of our group right into that mid-5:20 range, which was right where Nevada Moreno was last year. So they're running just about the same paces they were running last year. And as we mentioned earlier, you know, the favorites always seem to come home. 88% of the time, it's a regional champion that wins this girls' race. And our regional champions are all in that chase group. Obviously, Claudia is the champion from the West, but you've got Olivia Tice right up in there. Marley Soliper, the sophomore, she's either naive or not scared, Carrie, but she's right up there pushing that pace.
Yeah, Marley said she's had a great year, and she really credits what happened last year in her state meet to be hungry for this year. She's been using her last year's experience as a 9th grader. She ran 4:49 over 1,600 meters last year as a 9th grader, you guys. That's incredibly fast. And so this girl is very, very poised for being so young. So not surprised to see her up there. And she wants to win. She said that. She wants to be up there.
The Midwest girls have done a good job pushing that up the hill. Tice right there, Hart with her, and Covert right behind her. But already on the downhill, and actually has finished the downhill. Now she's going to head back over to the start line area, and we'll get a 1.5-mile split. Claudia Lane, just a junior here, our defending champion. She's out here to try to win her 2nd championship here. Just a junior, and Carrie, we've never had a 3-time winner, but you got to win the 2nd one first, don't you?
Yeah, you have to win the 2nd one first, but I think that, you know, with Claudia, she said she came here this year, and she feels fresh. She started her season a little bit later, about a month later, I believe, Tim, and so she isn't quite as tired maybe as she was last year, and if she was tired last year, then we better look out, because she looked phenomenal in 2016.
Well, she's certainly on a mission here to become the 8th girl ever to break 17 minutes on this venerable course, and she is certainly on pace. A little faster than she was last year. This time, though, she is all by herself. No one chasing her from behind. Now, last year, she hit the halfway point. She was 8:03 right there when she comes by. And this year, 8:01, so a couple seconds ahead of where she was last year. And last year, they finished strong, but here she comes. All of you folks there, she comes by. Really one of the great high school runners of all time, Claudia Lane.
You know, one interesting thing that Claudia did say is she feels a little bit of pressure now. I mean, she hasn't been running in this sport very long, Tim. She's only been running, I think, since she was in 9th grade, correct? So that's only a couple years here. So she said now she's starting to feel that pressure, but she likes it. She feeds off of it. And that's a great feeling to have when you know you do have the target on your back.
You know, it's interesting. You know, she really, as a freshman, was a pretty good runner, but not a great runner like she became as a sophomore. But speaking of sophomores, Marley Starliper, she looks great halfway through the race, and she is pushing that pace here. So as we mentioned, that hill comes up a second time. Anything could happen. But Starliper has really done a good job trying to move that pace along. The Midwest girls running together there in those pink outfits. They're running very well. We do have a team championship. The South girls won last year.
I'm seeing a lot of blue and a lot of pink, so that means the Northeast and the Midwest representing well in that front pack there.
Boy, it will be a great last mile and a half here as we head out through the dog park loop at the bottom. They'll make that turn, head back up. We'll get a 2-mile split. But Claudia Lane sure looks great. Undefeated for 15 months. Bree Oakley was the last girl to beat her. That was in the very first race of last cross-country season. They had a great battle at the Arcadia Invitational, maybe with the greatest track race two high school runners have ever run. The gun went off. They went stride for stride for 3,200 meters. And Claudia just barely nipped her, and then Bree came back later in the Brooks meet at the end of the year and got her. So they had two great races last year, and they were the fastest girls in the country at 3,200 meters. So we've got two girls in this race who have broken 10 minutes for 3,200 on the track, Claudia and Rebecca Story. We certainly should see Rebecca over that last mile.
Yeah, Claudia Lane taking a look over her shoulder there, you know, checking to see where she's at. She did it right at the right spot on a little turn. It is very dusty out there. You guys haven't seen much rain, obviously, with all the fires that are happening here too. But, you know, you could see her footing. It's tough out there right now. She's kicking up a lot of dirt, but the ground is actually pretty tough at times.
There isn't anybody in front of her kicking up dust, that's for sure.
No, there's not.
There you go.
Well, you mentioned the sore throat, and it very well could be part of the conditions because while we don't have the smoke in the air, this area is under a red flag warning, which essentially means the conditions are ripe for a wildfire. But one of the big parts of that is just so dry.
Yep.
Stephen, that's a great point. It is, and that gets tough as we get through further and further along in this race here.
There's Olivia Tice leading that charge. Olivia is a great athlete as well, as you said, out of Michigan, just dominating her state. You know, one thing that we've mentioned in the past, but this is different for a lot of athletes that dominate their state. And they come here and then they're surrounded by all of these great athletes. And it's quite intimidating at times. You know, you're not in charge of the race when you have everyone else around you. And you have to mentally be able to focus and not panic. And I think that was a big thing for all of us that sort of had, you know, time where we were by ourselves in races. We could do whatever we wanted to do. If it was going well, great. If it wasn't, we still had a good cushion. This is a whole different ballgame for these runners today if they have people surrounding them the entire race.
Claudia Lane came by that 2-mile at 10:57, 15-second lead. Tice, Hart, and Starliper right there, 11:12 and 11:13, a little bit of a gap. Jackie Gahn coming up. Wolfgram, Covert, Lee, Schmidt, and Wallace. But coming by the start line area, Claudia Lane. That lead isn't growing, though, is it? That lead is just about what it's been for the last mile or so. But here come our girls from the Midwest, Tice and Hart, shoulder to shoulder. Starliper there a little bit back, running in fourth. Jackie Gahn, very experienced, running well. Oh my gosh, the Midwest there. So we're scoring as a team, Midwest, with 5 girls there in the top 8 as a group. They look outstanding. But Claudia Lane into the Picnic Park loop there on the bottom part of the course. Really a downhill stretch. And then we'll see how she does on that second time up the big hill. But Claudia Lane trying to defend her Foot Locker National Championship. Looks very strong. Gosh, she just looks the same, whether it's the first race, the first step, or the last race and the last step.
You said she looked so good at the West Regional there, where she ran so fast on a little bit of a different course than you had last year with some construction, but just powerful up the big hills at Mount Sac. It's no secret that it's a very challenging course there, and she dominated that as well.
All right, a great race developing here with second, and they're keeping themselves close enough. This is certainly not over for sure here at this point. But as we can see, Tice and Hart running very well together there. And Gahn, boy, we always say experience is what makes the key here to looking for success here in the national championship race. Now, all these girls very experienced here. Outstanding runners, each and every one of them trying to make their spot. Get one of those top 5 spots to be a Foot Locker All-American first team member. But Claudia Lane continues to push that pace. Moving up, as we mentioned, we have Starliper and Jackie Gahn of the Northeast. That's our top 5 right now. It is Lane, Tice, Hart, Starlipper, and gone. And Claudia just about ready to attack the hill for the second time. We hit that hill. Again, it's about 350 meters from the bottom all the way to the top. And this is the steepest part. This is that part that Drew Hunter had a little bit of trouble with the second time after taking that pace out so hard. And Tice right there, and Hart. If Lane has any trouble, they are close enough to pounce.
Hart, a 10-11 two-miler. She's a 4:44 1,600-meter runner. Both she and Tice are very good on the track as well. But, you know, to be using each other now this last mile is really kind of a nice thing for them to have, to keep pushing each other, not forget about the task at hand, and making sure they keep their eyes on the front prize. Because you know what, when you see Claudia out there, it seems almost too daunting to want to chase, but you have to continue. You never know what can happen on these hills, and especially the downhill. You got to keep your footing. You have to stay on your feet.
Yeah, Starlipper doing a great job there, hanging well in fourth there. To give you the rest of those places as we go through, we also have up into that group there, we see Emily Covert up in there, Schmidt, Tierney Wolfgram, the freshman, running great there, right in that group, 6, 7, and 8 in there. Sarah Schmidt up in there. We can see Catherine Lee, Anna Wallace from the south running very well.
And that was a great view that we just had there, Tim, showing the effort that it takes to get up that hill. You know, form, yeah, we'll keep the form if we can, but let's just get to the top. You can see it in their faces.
And they know they got this downhill, so they just got to get up that uphill and then really stay safe on this downhill, and then the race is almost done.
And then when they get to this point, when they get at the bottom of that downhill, this is really when the crowds start to gather around. You see that there's a lot of space along the course there, but once she hits this home stretch, she's going to hear a lot of cheering.
Ooh, she looks good.
Yeah, when she hits that road, we'll see her cross the road right there. That is just about 400 meters to go, and she's just about coming up to that point. Well, she has passed that point. She is running very well here. There she goes. She is a little bit faster than last year, about 5 seconds faster than last year. So she has a great shot to put herself in that elite group of women who have broken 17 minutes on this course. So she is trying to put a stamp on her second championship, and she is coming now with about 250 meters to go. Claudia Lane, junior from Malibu, California, trying to repeat as Foot Locker national champion. The gun went off. She took the lead. She continues to pound on home. She's trying to remain undefeated. She's going to come by the 3-mile mark right now. She hits that 3-mile mark here. She's right at 16:28. That's 4 seconds faster. 17 minutes is the mark. Here she comes, Claudia Lane, the junior from Malibu High School in California, over the last little hill, and just about 100 meters to go. We're at 16:50 right now. A great race shaping up for second, but here she comes down the stretch. She'll repeat as Foot Locker national champion, Claudia Lane. Tice and Hart locked in a great battle. Tice trying to, but here comes Caitlin Hart. Caitlin Hart with a great finish. The junior on your left there on that screen, Tice on the right down to the wire. Ho! Looks like Hart and then Tice. Claudia Lane officially 17:03, Hart 17:22. 17:22 for Hart in second, and Tice also at 17:23. Catherine Lee, 17:38. She'll finish in fourth. Jackie Gunn, a great race for her All-American first team. She finishes fifth at 17:44. Anna Wallace, 17:48 at sixth. Wolfgram, a great race for her. She runs 17:51 to finish in seventh place. So once again, she repeats, Claudia Lane, sore throat or not, she is our national champion. As we welcome all the rest of these girls, all of them, league, section, regional, state champions, a great race. For those of you folks joining us here in Morley Field, let us hear it for them as they come through. Once again, Claudia Lane's official time, 17:03.4, so slightly faster than last year. And in our great team battle, the Midwest dominating. Unofficially, it looks like the Midwest is going to be under 36, under 30, it looks like even there. In the Northeast, South, and the West there. Great race there. Catherine Hart, 17:22, we can give you officially now. Tice, 17:22. Catherine Lee, 17:36. Jackie Gahn, 17:44. Anna Wallace, 17:48. Wolfgram, 17:51. Sarah Schmidt, 17:56. Emily Covert, 17:58, running in 9th place. And our 10th finisher is Adeline Ackley of Midwest Right at 18 flat. Stephen, we have a defending champion, repeat as champion, and sets up no athlete has ever won 3 national championships, and Claudia Lane now has that opportunity next year.
I was going to say, is it too early to start talking about three-peat? My goodness,
Talk about
19
immortality.
seconds.
I mean, you think about all the great girls who have come through here and have gone on to Olympic medals, gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals, all the rest, and nobody's been able to win 3 times, and she has that chance.
So she had a 19-second lead between the second place finisher. Doesn't sound like much, but that's an eternity in a race like this.
Well, and those are great girls. You know, Tice and Hart are outstanding runners. They're going to be right there at the end of the year, running right at 10 minutes again, right there with Rebecca Story and the rest of those girls. So these are great girls. We can't lose sight of it. Claudia Lane sometimes makes everybody else look like they may not be at that level, but they are great runners in their own right. Tice has had a great career already, so for her to run that well, that's great.
Well, let's get downstairs to Carrie because she is standing next to the woman of the hour, Claudia Lane.
All right, Claudia, you did it again. Talk about your feeling right now.
I'm so excited. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity again and to win. It's really cool.
You really pushed from the gun. Talk about your race plan, and was that record on your mind?
I mean, it was on my mind, but I'm fine that I didn't break it. You know, there's always next year. I was pushing on the hills, and on the uphills and stuff. It was a little tough, but overall, it was a really, really fun race.
We saw you take a look back around 2 miles. What were you thinking at that point?
I just wanted to make sure there weren't any girls around me, and I saw them like 40 to 60 meters back, so I just knew that, you know, I had to keep pushing.
You know, everyone talks about the hill. Going up that second hill, the second time on the hill, you really look like you held your form, you're pushing hard. Was that really the point where you said, I had to get through that hill and then get going?
Yeah, I definitely knew at that point that I really needed to keep pushing, and you know, I was so close to the finish. I knew that even if I expended all my energy, I'd almost be done.
What does Foot Locker mean to you?
So much. It's given me such an incredible opportunity to compete with amazing girls from all across the country, and I'm so grateful for it.
Will we see you back?
Oh, for sure, next year.
You could be the first to win 3 times. We talked about pressure coming into this race. As only a junior, you haven't been running this sport for very long. Does that feel good to have that kind of pressure now?
You know, it does, and I think it's kind of like a fun kind of pressure in a way, you know. Races are made more fun that way, and I think you challenge yourself hard, and that's one of my favorite things to do, so yeah.
Congratulations, way to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have our second place, so thank you so much. Come on in. We have Caitlin Hart here. Caitlin, congratulations. You are runner-up here at the Foot Locker Cross Country Championships. Talk about your race today and that amazing sprint that you had.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was an awesome race. Obviously, great competition, and I felt pretty good for most of it. And then up that last uphill, I was like definitely getting tougher. And then I really just tried to use the downhill to take it to the finish.
You know, you guys were battling hard, you and Olivia. Were your thoughts on finishing second, or were your thoughts still on trying to go for that win?
Honestly, I think I was just trying to keep myself composed and, you know, just stay right on Olivia and hopefully run together and use each other to get to the finish.
Well, congratulations to you. You'll never forget this moment.
Thank you.
All right, we have our third place, Olivia Tice, another Midwesterner. Olivia, you had a great race today. Talk about your race.
I went out how I was supposed to. I definitely wanted to push myself really hard, and I feel like I definitely did that. I definitely didn't have the kick at the end that Caitlin had, but she's amazing, so I gave it my best, and I'm happy with it.
Well, you did not give up until the end. You were leaning hard. So, you know, what does it mean to you now to be on the podium at the Foot Locker National Championships?
It means a lot. A long time ago, I wouldn't have imagined that this would happen.
Well, congratulations to you. Great race.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, so we have a senior, a junior, and a sophomore there and in the top 3. And what's interesting is, as we talk about Claudia coming back for a three-peat next year, Caitlin Hart just a sophomore, so who knows what can happen in the next year.
You know, this is where stars start to shine for the first time. This is where we see people. Tierney Wolfgram, you know, 7th as a freshman, you know, to handle that pressure so well, right back in there. So, hey, I'm already excited about the 40th one. It's going to be great.
Well, first we have another race coming up here,
true.
Tim. That's right. Well, because as we say congratulations to those girls who just really knocked our socks off there, we have 40 of the best high school male runners who are gathering. They are ready, and they're getting excited. And this is the race that you were talking about being one of those races where really it's anybody's race.
It is anybody's. We can see these highlights here.
All right, we're going to queue up the right video here in just a
really
moment.
Excited. It's the last
we're
one
ready
for a high school last cross country race, so just try to go out with a bang here. I hung the Foot Locker logo on my wall just to give me some inspiration, just when the practice gets tough, just to give me some motivation, just to keep on going. I'm just gonna go out there, try to race with the leaders, and maybe try to pull off the win. You know, I mean, why not?
I feel like I'm not ready, but when it comes to racing, I'm always prepared and have that mentality to be ready, because it's all about the mental part of running, and the physical part is just working because your mentality is doing the work for you, because you either feel that negative impact on if you want to go fast or slow. I'm looking forward to, like, I guess I heard a steep hill in the race. Maybe my weakest point is probably just stay in the back, because it kind of gets to me. I like to stay in the front just to see how it goes from there on. I feel confident enough to lead the race, and the reason why is just because I probably don't have a good kick.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking all year, and I started a training log at the beginning of the year and put at the top of it, you know, Dalton's training, goal, national Foot Locker, champion. So it's kind of been the goal for, forever now, ever since we left last year. But yeah, it's just something that it would be so special to win. So yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say that was the goal. That was the only goal.
I visualize coming up the second hill, being in a good position when I get to the top, kind of getting ready for that downhill, and then coming off the downhill, I want to be in about 3rd place. You're not going to have a guy that's going to go out and take the lead and try to break the rest of the field. I feel like it's more of a sit and kick kind of race, just with the challenges of the hill and everything. It'd be hard to break the field. So I feel like that gives me a little bit of an advantage if it comes down to a kick.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I like to say I have a decent kick. Yeah, I can close pretty hard. What I like to do is kind of to go out, be comfortable, and then know I have my kick left at the end, just to put myself in position, and then I can finish the race like that. So yeah, I would definitely say I have a kick.
Some of the guys right there, and what do the numbers tell us, Tim? Because they do tell us some very interesting things about what's happened in the past.
All right, after 39 years or 38 years of boys results, we know that it's almost 60% chance that it's going to be someone who's been here before. It's an 84% chance it's someone that has, as a senior, the experience makes a difference. And then the big factor, 85%, is a regional champion. So regional champ, been here before, and a senior. So that's what we're looking for.
All right, well, we're going to bring the West team up here first, and we're going to get right into the introductions, Tim, and the Northeast, excuse me. And gosh, we just had one exciting race. Let's do another.
Oh my, here we go. We have our second great race today, and we'd like to introduce you now to the top 40 boys in the country here. And so our Northeast team, again, under the leadership of their director, Phil Zoda, and their coaches. She's run 4:28 for the mile. Boys, you better be careful here. She's representing New Balance Day, Abby D'Agostino. And she's run 15:02 for 5,000, 31:25 for 10,000. Also from New Balance, Emily Sisson. And now the boys from the Northeast. He'll wear bib number 60 today. He's a senior from St. Anthony's High School in New York. He's run 1:52 for 800 on the track. This fall he won the New York Federation Championship in cross country. He's going to attend the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania next year. 10th in our regional, Mason Gatewood. And bib 59, a senior from McNair Academy in New Jersey. After winning the city, county, sectional, and group championships, he placed 3rd in the New Jersey State Meet, 9th in the Foot Locker Northeast Regional, Fahd Nasser. And we're in bib 58, a senior from Neshaminy High School in Pennsylvania. He not only won the Pennsylvania 3A State Championship in cross country, but he also ran the fastest time of all division winners. He's off to Georgetown next year, 8th in our region, Rusty Kudich. We're in bib 57, a senior from Fairfield Prep High in Connecticut. He made it here last year to the Foot Locker Nationals. This year is the New England champion in cross country, 7th in our regional, Drew Thompson. We're in bib 56, a junior from Point Pleasant Borough High School in New Jersey. He was state champion in the spring at 3,200 meters on the track, running 9:05. This fall, he won the 2017 New Jersey Cross Country Meet of Champions, 6th in the region. This is Devin Hart. And we're in bib 55, a senior from Pittsford Mendon High School in New York. This year, he won his 2nd consecutive New York State Class B championship. He's run 9:03 for 3,200 on the track. He'll attend Syracuse in the fall, 5th in the regional, Nathan Lawler. We're in bib 54, a senior from McDonough High in Pennsylvania. He placed 21st here last year. He's run 4:08 for 1,600, 8:56 for 3,200 meters on the track. He won the Great American Cross Country Invitational, and he was the Maryland State Champion in cross country for the 3rd year in a row. 4th in the regional, Dalton Hengst. We're in bib 53, a junior from Brookline High School in Massachusetts. He ran 9:13 for 3,200 as just a sophomore last spring. This fall, he placed 3rd in the Massachusetts State Cross Country Championships, and he was 3rd in our regional. This is Lucas Alejandro Aramburu. We're in bib 52, a senior from Brick Township High School in New Jersey. He's run 1:53 for 800 on the track. He was county, conference, and sectionals champion in cross country this fall, and he finished as runner-up in the Foot Lock Northeast Regional, Damian Dilcher. We're in bib 51, a senior from St. John's Prep in Massachusetts. Last spring, he was the New England Mile champion. This fall, he dominated Massachusetts State's Division I Cross Country Championship, winning by more than 20 seconds. He'll compete for the University of North Carolina in the fall. This is our 2017 Foot Locker Northeast Regional Champion, Tristan Shelgren. And now I'd like to introduce our defending champions on the boys' side, the boys from the South, under the leadership of their director, Max Mayo, and their captains once again. 2-time Olympian, she runs for New Balance. This is Kim Conley. And also running for New Balance, she's run 2:01 for 800, 4:28 for the full mile on the track. This is Corey McGee. And now our boys, wearing bib 70 today, a junior from Fayetteville High School in Arkansas. He won his 2nd consecutive Arkansas Division VII state championship this fall, 10th in our region, Cameron Fisher. Wearing bib 69, a senior from Northern Guilford High School in North Carolina. He was the 2016 North Carolina State Champion in cross country. He's run 9:14 for 3,200 on the track. He did that just 2 weeks ago. He'll attend Harvard this fall. 9th in the regional, David Melville. Wearing bib 68, a junior from Knoxville Catholic High in Tennessee. He was the Tennessee State Champ at 3,200 meters in track. This fall, 4th in the state meet in cross country, 8th in the region, Jake Renfrey. Wearing bib 67, just a sophomore from East Coweta, Georgia. As a freshman, he was the Georgia State Champion at 1,600 on the track. He ran 4:15 when just a freshman. 3rd this fall in the Georgia State Cross Country Championships. 7th in the regional, Kyle Harkabus. Wearing bib 66, a senior from Henry County High School in Tennessee. He's run 9:01 for 3,200 on the track. Not only was he undefeated throughout the Scholastic cross-country season this year, but he also ran the fastest time of all divisional champions in the Tennessee State meet this year, and he was 6th in the Foot Locker South region. This is Titus Winders. Wearing bib 65, a senior from Webb School in Tennessee. He's run 9:02 for 3,200 on the track. He was state champion in both 16 and 3,200, and this fall he won his 3rd straight Tennessee cross-country title. He'll be attending Wake Forest in the fall, and he was 5th in our regional. Carter Coughlin. Wearing bib 64, a junior from Fort Worth Christian High School in Texas. He dominated the Texas private schools 5A division this year. He won the state championship race by more than 45 seconds. 4th in the Foot Locker South Regional, Carter Cheeseman. Wearing bib 63, a sophomore from Aledo, Texas. He becomes only the 2nd boy in Foot Locker history to ever make it to the Nationals in both his freshman and sophomore year. This fall he ran 14:58 to win the Texas 5A State Cross Country Championship. He was 3rd in the South Regional, Graydon Morris. Wearing bib 62, a senior from Lawton Childs High School in Florida. Last spring he ran 4:13 for 1,600, 9:05 for 3,200 meters. This fall he won his 2nd consecutive Florida State Division III cross-country championship, and he was runner-up this year in the Foot Locker South Region. This is Michael Phillips. And now wearing bib 61, a senior from R.J. Reynolds High School in North Carolina. He dominated the North Carolina Division IV State Cross Country Championships, winning by more than 25 seconds. Last month, he ran 9:01 for 3,200 on the track. He's going to move up and go to the University of Michigan next fall. And this right now is our Foot Locker Southern Regional Champion, John Tatter. And now to the Midwest boys under the leadership of their director, Peter Hankus, and their coaches. And it just is enjoyable to say once again, the 2017 World Champion running for New Balance. This is Emma Coburn. And another New Balance athlete, the national high school record holder at 3,200 meters, 8:29.46 when he was in high school, 2-time Foot Locker champion, Lucas Versbickus. And now here we go with our boys wearing bib number 80, a junior from Homestead High School in Wisconsin. He was the Wisconsin State Division I champion in cross country. He ran 9:05 for 3,200 meters on the track as just a sophomore last year. 10th in our Foot Locker Midwest Regional, Drew Bosley. Wearing bib 79, a senior from Coldwater High School in Michigan. Undefeated throughout the Scholastic cross-country season this year, culminating in his dominating victory in the Michigan State Division II Championship. He'll compete for the University of Wisconsin in the fall, 9th in the Foot Locker Midwest Regional, Schwabe Ajabali. Wearing bib 78, a senior from Wrights Memorial High School in Indiana. 2nd in the New Balance Nationals miles last year at 4:13. 4th in the Indiana State meet this year in cross country, and he'll attend the University of Indiana in the fall. He was 8th in our Midwest Regional. This is Matthew Shadler. Wearing bib 77, a senior from Denver East, Colorado. His father qualified twice for the Foot Locker Nationals way back in '86 and '87. This fall, he was the Colorado Region 5 champion, and he placed 5th in the state meet, and he was 7th in our Midwest Regional. This is Harrison Scudamore. Wearing bib 76, a senior from Colonel Crawford High School in Ohio. He was the Ohio State champion at 1,600 meters on the track, running 4:12. He capped off an undefeated cross-country season this fall by winning a 2nd straight Ohio Division III State Individual Championship. He'll run for Iowa State next year. 6th in the regional, Chad Johnson. Wearing bib 75, a senior from Carl Sandburg High in Illinois. He placed 11th here last year in the Foot Locker Nationals, and then he went on to run 4:07 for 1,600 on the track. He was 6th in the Illinois 3A State Cross Country Championship this year. He's off to Notre Dame in the fall. 5th in the regional, Dylan Jacobs. Wearing bib 74, a senior from Pinkerton Central High School in Ohio. 2nd in the Ohio State track meet last year, running 9 flat for 3,200. He was 3rd in the Ohio State Cross Country Championship this fall. He's going to attend Syracuse next year, 5th in the region. This is Matt Scrape. Wearing bib 73, a senior from Whitney Young High in Illinois. He's run 4:11 for 1,600, 9:01 for 3,200. Runner-up this year in the Illinois State Cross Country meet. He'll head west this summer and attend Stanford in the fall. 3rd in the Foot Locker Midwest Regional, Clayton Mendez. Wearing bib 72, a senior from Buckeye Valley High School in Ohio. This year he not only won his 2nd straight Ohio Division II Cross Country Championship, but he also set a new state record with a time of 14:29. He's run 4:10 for 1,600 on the track, and he's also off to Notre Dame in the fall. Runner-up in the Footlock Midwest Regional, Zach Kreft. And wearing bib number 71, a senior from Lyon Township, Illinois. In track, he ran 4:12 for 16, 9 flat for 3,200 meters. This fall, he dominated the Illinois Division III State Championship to win the individual title. And if they needed any more help, he's off to Notre Dame also next fall. He is our 2017 Foot Locker Midwest Regional Champion, Danny Kilray. And now on to the West Boys under the leadership of their director, Doug Todd. She was the USA National Champion at 1,500 meters. One of our coaches running for New Balance now, Brenda Martinez. And also running for New Balance, he is the indoor world champion. And as we found out last night, the answer to every question, this is Boris Berrien. Wearing bib number 90, a senior from Lone Peak High School in Utah. He placed 2nd in the Utah Division 6A state meet in cross country. He literally gave it his all to make it across the finish line and earn the 10th and final qualifying spot for today's Foot Locker Nationals. This is Justin Hartshorn. Now wearing bib 89, a senior from Rancho Cucamonga High School in California. With a half mile to go in the West region, he still was in 11th place. He surged in the final 500 meters to move all the way up to 9th and earn his spot in today's national championship. This is Darius Riley. Wearing bib 88, a senior from Gonzaga Prep in Washington. He has certainly been steady all season, but he produced his best race of the year in the West Regional, running with the lead pack the entire race. He qualified in that 8th spot, Turlin Moreland. Wearing bib 87, a senior from Fremont, Utah. He was the Utah Division 6A champion this year in cross country. He and his twin brother, Zach, finished just 1 second apart in the regional to both qualify for today's nationals, and they will both be attending Weber State in the fall, but he was 7th in our West Regional, and this is Bronson Winter. Wearing bib 86, a senior from Liberty Ranch High School in California. He was the California Sac Joaquin section champion, and he went on to place 2nd in the California State Meet Division IV. He was 6th in the West Regional, Colin Ulrich. Wearing bib 85, a senior from Olympus High in Utah. He placed 26th last year in the World Junior Triathlon Championships. He finished 2nd in the Utah Region 6 Championship this year, and he led his school to the State Division IV team title. 5th in the Foot Locker West Regional, Roberto Porras. Wearing bib 84, a senior, also of course from Fremont High School in Utah, the other half of the Winter Twins. He was the Utah State champ last spring at 800 meters with a PR of 1:53. This fall he placed 3rd in the Utah Division 6A state championship, and of course he's committed to Weber State in the fall. 4th in the region, this is Zachary Winter. Wearing bib 83, a senior from Cathedral Catholic High School in California. As you can hear, he is the San Diego Division cross-country champion for the 2nd year in a row. And he came with less than a second of winning the California Division III state championship. He'll compete at Wake Forest next fall. Third in the Foot Locker Western Regional, Joaquin Martinez de Pinillos. Wearing bib 82, a senior from Bellarmine College Prep in California. He returns to the Foot Locker Nationals, having placed 19th here last year. This year he won the Mount Sac Sweepstakes Championship. He'll move just a few miles north of his high school next year and compete for the Stanford Cardinal. But he was runner-up in the West Regional this year, Mika Bodin Rousseau. And wearing bib 81, just a junior from Kirkland Central High, New Mexico. He has put together one of the great cross-country seasons in New Mexico state history. Not only is he undefeated in all cross-country races this fall, but he also won the New Mexico State meet by more than 35 seconds. And last Saturday, he took off with a mile and a half to go, and he didn't let up, and he won the Foot Locker Western Regional. This is Kashawn Harrison.
So they've spent the past few days getting to know each other, bonding a little bit, maybe sizing each other up just a bit, and now it's time to compete.
It is time to compete. These guys have had so much fun. We talked to some of the returners that said these are some of their best friends now, so they were looking forward to getting to see them. But you know what? Now it's game face. Everyone is ready to line up, even though they're probably slapping each other's hands and whatever. They want to win themselves. They want to do better than they did last year or perform their best they can. So, yeah, they're excited to be on the line with each other, but they're also excited to beat each other.
They'll be friends again in about 15
there you
minutes.
Go. Exactly.
You know, Stephen, you asked about Claudia Lane. As much as I would have bet the house that she'd take the lead, I'll double that bet that no one takes this lead and tries to get out like that. There's going to be, right now, there are 15, 20, and maybe even 40 boys right there that can visualize themselves crossing that line in 15 minutes as the first guy.
Well, that's why they play the game, and in this case, why they run the race. And we are excited as they get up for the last few seconds of stretching out those legs and getting some of the anxious feelings out. Here we go.
We have our starter once again, Al Drandage, as he has been for many years. He'll be our starter. Max Mayo, our national meet coordinator, right there getting our boys lined up. Take a quick minute to thank all our folks here in San Diego. Done just a magnificent job. It is a beautiful course, beautiful day. Boy, it is going to be a great race. The 2017 Foot Locker National Championships. You know, Stephen, this will be interesting to see which boy wants to take it, whether they're all going to be looking at each other or is somebody going to take it out. Carrie, what do you think? Somebody going to take that out?
You know, I think that what we've seen over the last couple years, especially on the men's side, the boys' side, is that they do look around for a little bit, but then you'll see someone get to about 400-600 meters and say, okay, enough is enough. I want to get into the mode, the race mode. Sometimes it doesn't feel good to be slower than your race pace. You know, championship-style racing is not a fun way to race sometimes. So I think that we're going to see someone. Kashawn Harrison was not afraid to say that if he has to lead this race, he will. He's done it all season. He likes to push hard. They say that he likes Prefontaine, who we all know that Pre used to run very aggressive. So, you know, if he can kind of get his way out of this pack right now, he's kind of back in the pack right now. I think we might see him start to push the pace.
You know, Carrie, you ran an elite level from virtually your 8th grade year on. So most of these guys, they're not used to running with people in front of them or around them. They're used to being way out front. So that's a little bit of a change for some. I wonder if they'll be able to handle that, to be able to stay relaxed.
It's very hard. And, you know, a lot of parents and coaches are out here that they've only seen their kid out in front. And it is very hard mentally to know how to calm yourself down, how to not get too anxious and say, oh my gosh, I'm not having the best day because I'm not winning this race. This is the best in the country right here. So you have to know how to calm yourself down, stay within yourself, and let the race unfold, especially in the very first mile.
Boy, they are letting a race unfold. This is going to be turned into a strategic race here. It has not been a fast first 600-700 meters here, so at some point If we're waiting for the hill, okay, but at some point somebody's going to make a move here. But everybody in it, everybody measuring everybody else, and we'll come up to the half mile here split in just about 30 seconds.
You know, it's interesting to hear how, oh, they're all laughing there. They took a little bit of a turn. You know, it's interesting to see the stats of how many times you've seen a regional winner win. Well, last year, we saw someone that wasn't a regional winner win. Reed Brown came in, and he ran a very smart race. He waited until the downhill, really pushed hard, and finished strong in the last final meters there. But Reed Brown ran the race leading up to this race, the NXN, and we have a couple people that are coming back from that as well. But we also have a couple regional winners that did not race last weekend. So could it be a race between the rested or the guys that have been racing all year? I think that's an important factor.
Well, 2:24 for the first 800. So not a blazing first 800, but okay, first 800. You see Sean, so you just mentioned a little bit before, likes to get up front. In the regional at the 1.5 mile mark, he is a hill runner. He's coming down from altitude. That's a huge advantage, and he's coming down from altitude here to the sea level. See if he pushes that as we go up the hill. But everybody in it as we come back by. We're coming by the mile mark. We see all those Joaquin the Machine. So Joaquin Martinez de Pinoes from Cathedral Catholic. I think he told us the other day he's run on this course, I don't know, 100 times. Coaches had him out here on this course, so he knows it well. So if anybody has a home field advantage, not just knowing the course, but the crowd, they're wearing their yellow and red shirts, Cathedral Catholic.
One of the negatives to that tight group, we just saw one of the runners take a spill there in front of us at the end. When you are in a tight group like that, is that something you have to be aware of?
Yes, most definitely. You have to keep your footing. And if you go down, more importantly, to stay calm and not to get too excited and use extra energy. Just stay calm. It's early. Get back up, get back in your rhythm, and get into the race.
Well, for those of you who just want to see a good race, how's this for a good race?
Yeah, the leader is everybody.
Yeah, that's right. And you called it, Tim, so good job.
Well, there you go. Now as they all cooperate. You know, Kerry, the one thing, though, you got to stay relaxed here. And I wonder about some of those boys. You know, it's like Claudia's race. In a regular race, in a league final or a smaller invitation, they led from the gun. But here, there's people all around you. They need to learn to relax and try to stay calm until this race really gets going. And I think the hill is our spot.
Well, one thing I like about having more of a relaxed pace is letting these guys sort of let the race kind of come under them. And, you know, it's a pace that they all can handle. They've all seen this pace before. They're not all trying to hang on to a pace they've never seen. And that's something that you see at Nationals sometimes, too, is people try to run above what they've ever run. And so right now they're all used to this race pace. They've all seen these kind of times.
And this is Kashawn Harrison there in the white and the green of the West. He's the West Regional Champion, New Mexico State Champion in the 8th mile. So they're 4:55 at the mile. So a fair pace here, and then we'll hit the hill. Once again, it's about 350 meters from the top to the bottom, but it's the first 120 that are the steepest. And Kashawn said he loves hills, and he likes to power up those hills. But what we've learned in talking to the boys over the last couple days and what they've learned in the last couple years, watching Reed Brown, watching Drew Hunter, watching those boys run the downhill. They all think that you got to be able to run that downhill well. So we'll see who has accomplished that skill or learned that skill over the last couple months getting ready. A lot of these boys have come here and run this course many times, even boys from far away in different parts of the country. They know they want to get here. We've heard their goals. Several of them have come and run this course before just on their own.
One of the things to pay attention to, and we talked about this in the girls' race, is you watch the video of them. When they get on the grass, not so apparent, but watch as they get into some of the dirt, and you can actually see the dust blowing up around them. I can imagine as a runner, that's not what you want, but something they're having to deal with.
No, I mean, you don't want to see the dust coming off of the runners in front of you. You'd rather feel it coming from underneath you. But I think they did bring out a tank, it looks like. They maybe watered down some of that. So they're making it a little bit more race-friendly for these athletes. But watch these guys go down this hill. Staying on your feet is crucial, but also just staying within yourself and not going too hard. But it is so hard. That is such a steep downhill.
And as you can see, they'll spread out a little bit. They'll group back up again as we go through it. We see Shelgren, our Northeast Regional Champion, pushing that pace a little bit. Daniel Correa in the region, this is where he took off at about 1.5 miles into it, so he's right in position there. So we're spreading out a little bit. That downhill has done its purpose. It's given us a little bit of a string here, and we'll see if they start looking at each other. Somebody says, okay, 1.5 miles, it's my time to go.
Well, Tim, you have to start thinking that when you're guys that have not run 4:07, 4:10 for the mile, or even a sub, 9-minute 2 mile, you have to start breaking it open because we can see how great these guys can kick. So if you aren't such a person that can kick as well, you got to start pushing the pace a little bit.
Dalton Hanks, he's made the move here, decided he'll push it here, and now you can see, Stephen, here we go. Now we're starting to spread it. We're coming up right now to the 1.5 miles. We should have a great last 1.5 miles here to see who will be our 2017 Foot Locker National Champion. But Dalton Hanks trying to push that pace.
Dalton Hanks was not afraid to say he wants to win. He said that in his interview. Those were his words, so not surprising.
Dylan Jacobs, he's moving up there. He's going to push that pace. It's time to make his move. Kilray doesn't want to let him get too far away, and now people are realizing you got to cover the move. So here we go at the 1.5 miles.
Dylan Jacobs, our top returner from last year, was 5th here last year, having a great season.
Kilray trying to move up now, moved into 2nd. The South making a great showing as a team here. The South, big victory last year in the team competition. They're running very well as a group, right in that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spots. But as the boys head down to the Dog Park Loop, they'll make that turn. And really, this is the last real bit of downhill they'll enjoy until the very steep part after they climb the hill. But this is our chance here. This is the move that we've been waiting to see here. Kilray, though, trying to close that gap now.
You hear one of the officials in the background saying, stay on the course, stay on the course. They've got it pretty well marked there, but as we saw on the first turn right around this point, there was a little bit of confusion, but they've done it now once here in race mode, and so they should be good to go from this point on.
So they won't have to take their shoe off and look at the map, and of course. I think we're good with that today. All right.
Now,
very
these
good.
two are quite familiar with each other. They've been racing each other all year, Kilray and Jacobs. Kilray has only been beaten by Jacobs this year.
They're going to give it a go here, the two of them. That's Dylan Jacobs, the leader, and then Daniel Kilray trying to move up on his shoulder. And Kilray has made his MO this year is to make a move right in the middle of the race, and everybody thought he has the strength and the speed, the combination. He's been running very well, won the Midwest Regional, and he's starting to make a bit of a move and trying to open that gap. See if Dylan Jacobs can go with him here. They're coming up to the 2-mile mark now.
This looks like the Battle of Illinois right here.
Mm-hmm.
But the South, those three boys running well from the South, trying to move up. Boy, the South, 5 runners there still in the top 10. Kilray and Jacobs, yep.
Kilray, 4:12, 1,600-meter runner. Jacobs is a 4:07, 1,600-meter runner. Both of them have great wheels, a lot of strength between the two of them.
All right, Jacobs says, not quite yet. It's not your race yet. Here I go. So now, Dylan Jacobs, this is his second big move. 9:48 at 2 miles, 9:48 at 2 miles. Dylan Jacobs, Sandburg High School in Illinois. Well, we know he's not the school record holder because that's Lucas Verbicus' high school, so he's going to have to run 8:29 this year to do that. But here we go, trying to repeat as national champion for Carl Sandburg. But he Morrison looks like Tatter from the South trying to close that gap. So Jacobs, Kilroy, and here comes John Tatter. He's broken away a little bit there. And Braden Morris, the big, tall sophomore from Aledo, Texas, 14:58. He's trying to close that gap. So we'll see if they can get up there and make this into a 4 or 5 man race. Braden Morris would be only the second sophomore ever if he can get up here and win this race.
He said he wanted top 3, Tim.
His goal for track, so we set out 8:45 for 3,200. I believe that boy when he says he can run that fast.
Well, when you come from the South, you have had so many great runners, especially from Texas. So he's had a lot of people to follow in their footsteps and to think big.
Yeah, we watched all those great races, Reed Brown and Sam Worley and all those guys.
Yeah.
Reed breaking 4 minutes last year, so he's seen it before. But this race right now, Dylan Jacobs has thrown the hammer down. He has decided he's going to make his second big move. He's made it, and the question is now, can he hold it? Danny Kilray from Lyons Township, again, as Carrie said, they're very familiar with each other. They're trying to pull away, but we still have the big hill to go. John Tatter trying to close that gap. Graydon Morris, the freshman, or the sophomore from Aledo, trying to move up. Michael Phillips right in there, and Zach Kraft. He's got a shot at this, trying to move up in there also. But here we go, getting ready to cross the road and heading up the hill.
Both look very good right now.
Boy, but he hasn't been able to open more than about 5 meters. And we get ready for the hill for the second time. Dylan Jacobs, Daniel Kilroy, Tatter within view, and here comes the sophomore, Morris. Morris right on Tatter's shoulder. You got to believe, Carrie, the winner's going to come from those four, don't you?
I think so. Every year, I think we see something change, though, on the hill and or even up on the tree line there. There's a lot of things that can happen now in this last little bit.
You know, you can hope for 1 or 2 and maybe even 3 to drop, but for all 4, I think that our leader, one of those 4 boys, is going to be our national champion. And Dylan Jacobs continues to lead. He's done the steep work. Now he's just got to make that turn. He's got about another 100 meters uphill, and he has opened up that lead. Dylan Jacobs. Oh my, he made the big move, a mile and a half. He's opening up, and he's got about a half mile to go to a national championship. Dylan Jacobs. That's the last of the hill.
This is so crucial for him to regroup right here. You're so tired. You get up that hill, and then you have that little turn, and you still have to climb again. But this is where mentally he needs to regroup and think, I am less than half a mile to go. I got this.
Oh, the adrenaline's got to be starting to flow. It looks like Morris has moved into third. Kilroy makes that turn on Upas, coming downhill in second. But it is Jacobs in the lead. Kilroy and Morris. Coming down that hill, they're exhausted. It's getting pretty warm here in San Diego, but he is on his way. Just about 500 meters to go to a national championship for Dylan Jacobs, Carl Sandburg High in Illinois. Kilroy trying to close in. Here comes Morris. Morris has closed that gap on Kilroy, but it looks like Jacobs has been able to open up a bit more. He's got to be excited when he sees 400 meters to go.
And when he comes around the curve here, wow, he is going to see a nice crowd waiting for him. They have really packed him in along the course finish line here.
He looks great. Tatter trying to move up there also now, but there he is, about 350 meters to go. Dylan Jacobs of Carl Sandburg makes that turn. He'll hit the 3-mile mark. A little bit of an uphill right when they go by the start line area, and then a down to the finish. He looks back. We've seen guys close in this last 150 meters.
Well, being 5th here last year, top returner, you know that, and you're thinking about that. I want to show everybody I'm back, I'm just as good, and I know he laid his head down last night thinking, I deserve to be top returner because I am, and I want to show people this.
14:48 at 3 miles. Here he comes, trying to hold on. Dylan Jacobs trying to win the national championship. The sophomore Morris has moved up. Tatter's coming now, but this race belongs to Dylan Jacobs. Oh my, Morris trying to make a move, trying to close that gap, but Jacob turns around one more time, points at that finish line banner. Yes, national champion, Dylan Jacobs. Morris, oh my goodness, the sophomore, second. Kilroy, third. A great race for Danny Kilroy. John Tatter closes great over that last half mile. He's an All-American first team. The South running great again as a group. And Renfrey finishes in 5th. She's been into 6th. Bosley into 7th. A Jobly, oh my goodness, a great race here. Kashan crosses the line. And all our runners finishing now. Once again, those of you folks here at Morleyfield, let them hear it from you. Outstanding runners. It has been a great 2017 season. All of these boys champions here as they come up the finish. They will be Foot Locker All-Americans for the rest of their life. And here they are, the crowning goal of their 2017 season. We can give you the official time. Dylan Jacobs, the winner at 15:19. Graydon Morris, second, 15:23. I guess we have our favorite for next year. All right, Daniel Kilroy 15:27, John Tatter, great last mile for him, 15:27. Jake Renfrey rounds out our All-American first team at 15:38. And Carter Cheeseman from the South, 15:41. Drew Bosley moved up 3 spots over that last half mile to finish at 15:42 and 7th. Drew Thompson of the Northeast, 15:43 and 8. Clayton Mendez moved up 2 spots over that last group. He's from the Midwest, 15:45 and 9th. Devin Hart of the Northeast, 15:45. He finishes in the top 10 All-American second team. Chad Johnson finishes in 11th at 15:46. Zach Kraft, 12th, 15:48. And Harrison Scudamore, 15:48 and 13th. 14th place right there, Kashawn Harrison, 15:50. And Carter Coughlin rounds out the top 15 at 15:42. Boy, we'll have to wait till we see our official results. But right now for the team battle, we got the Midwest at 31 and the South at 32. We'll see what that plays out to be.
Congratulations to all our boys. And dating back to the women's race or the girls' race, it looks like we've got a sophomore in each top 3 there. So an underclassman for each of the guys and the girls. So this race will certainly be competitive as we already look to next year, the 40th. But man, as we celebrate these 40 high school guys that just gave it their all in front of us here, what are your thoughts, Tim?
I just, again, the emergence of these, Dylan Jacobs forever will be a Foot Locker national champion. The scope of that is unfathomable to a high school runner. I mean, you look at the people that have come before, and you look at the Galen Rupps and the Matt Centrowitz and all the great runners. He's a Foot Locker national champion, and Morris steps on the stage now and says, hey, next year, everybody look at me.
He had a great late push. Okay, let's head downstairs to Carrie, who is with our national champion.
You are national champion. Dylan Jacobs, our top returner from last year, finishing 5th in 2016, and now you won.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be a part of this. There's so many great runners that have made it, and even some that haven't made it, and I'm just so blessed to be able to win this one.
You know, you really made a hard move there with about 1.5 miles to go. And then you and Danny went back and forth for a little bit, and then you put it away on the hill. Talk about your mentality going into that last hill.
I knew he was coming up, and I made a little move right around the 800 mark at the beginning, but the second lap around, and I mean, I knew if I wanted this national championship, I would have to go as hard as I could, and I'm really, really blessed that I was able to push through that. And I mean, Danny's a great runner, and I knew that. I faced him all season. He's beat me more than I beat him, and I really respect him, and I just knew I really needed to push it to take him down.
Well, it's anybody's day out here today, but it was yours, and you celebrated in style. Did you visualize that finish, that little dance that you had?
I want to thank Lucas Verzbickus for that one. He was talking to our Midwest guys, but honestly, I want to thank all my coaches who came out, my parents, my family, and honestly, my teammates back home. They've been motivating me all the way through this, and I really just want to thank them.
Well, congratulations, our national champion, you guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's bring in our runner-up. Graydon Morris. We could see you for a couple more years here, but our 10th grader today, coming back now, your second year, you wanted top 3 and you got it.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk about your race.
I felt really good the first mile, not really strenuous at all, and then I went up that hill the first time. That's where it started hurting a little bit, but just kind of told myself stay focused and just block it out and just keep running. I kept moving up. So,
how do you stay composed that last little bit when you're thinking top 3 and you were in 4th?
I kind of just told myself to not think about it. Just keep running your race and just try to get to the guy in front of you.
Are we going to see you now hopefully next year and the following year and be one of 2, you and Jorge Torres, for maybe 4-time Foot Locker Cross Country Championship finalists?
I really hope so. I'm going to keep training, up the mileage a little bit, and come back each year if I can.
Well, way to go, Graydon. Great race.
Thank you.
And now we have our final of the top 3 here. Daniel Kilray, man, you had a great race out there. Talk about it, Danny.
The hills are definitely taking a little bit more of a toll than you think, like everyone says. But it was a great race. I knew that there'd be a lot of competition and a lot of people going for the win, especially when there was no clear favorite. And I put my hand in to try and win, and sometimes things just don't go as well as you want, and another great runner won. So there's just so much talent here.
The Foot Locker experience was a great way to cap off your awesome season. Talk about the experience.
Yeah, New Balance treats you so well here, and I feel like I've just already made so many friends, and the trip isn't even over yet. So it'll just be super cool to keep watching how all of us do through college and still the rest of the people in high school. So I'm super grateful to be here, and it's nice to end my season in sunny San Diego.
Well, congratulations, Danny. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, back to you.
Oh, some excited boys there and some excited families that they're about to embrace with as well. Tim, you'd think after 39 years of this race that we'd seen it all, but we didn't. We've seen something new there.
You know, you see that look on his face when he pointed at that banner, when Dylan comes down and looks at that. That's what this race is. I want that, is what every kid, 10,000 kids raced in those regionals as they went through, and everyone wanted that spot at the end, and it's still a Jake. Carl Sandburg, that's their second championship now in 6 years. That's pretty impressive.
And specifically there, when we talk about something we haven't seen yet, he was 5th in the regional.
There you go.
Which means what?
Well, that's the first time anybody has come from that 5th place and win the Nationals. In fact, we've had 1 6th place. So in the 39 years, 37 of those people came out of the region at a higher place than Dylan did. But you know what the kids have learned over the years now? What they've learned is the regionals, I just have to be in the top 10. And you watch those regionals, and what happens is, hey, I'm counting spots, and you'll see them look around. Now, I remember a couple years ago in the West region when A.J. Acosta, one of the great runners in San Diego history, in the region, they started talking to each other and started counting. And they went up the last hill talking to each other. Hey, we got this. What are we going to kill ourselves for? Let's get ready for next week. I think they've learned that lesson.
So with a couple of sophomores there in the top 3, we will have some favorites coming back. And, of course, there's Claudia Lane, who is a junior, who will be looking for the three-peat in the 40th annual running of the Foot Locker Cross Country National Championships. And right now, just so you know, we're gathering our top 3 from the boys and the girls side down for the presentation of the awards. At this point, you know, they've done the race, but the weekend still isn't over, right?
Oh, that exhale you just heard, 80 kids just exhaled right now, because that was the big pressure. That was, you could tell, you know, yesterday and the mornings on Thursday and Friday, they were pretty loose and easy, but this morning you could tell it was race time, and everybody knows you can't be this great. You can't reach this level without having that championship, you know, that boxer's mentality if I got to knock somebody out in a race. They all had that today. Now it's over, and what I think is so great, it's the season's over. I mean, you know, the season ends now. You know, some of them will take, I don't know, maybe a whole half day off. Who knows? But anyway, they'll take some time off. They can relax. The seniors now can relax. And I think Mika said that one of the great experiences last year, you know, they'll be playing soccer on the beach. They're going to be ice skating. They're going to be eating ice cream sundaes. And it really is a wonderful time. Because I think the one thing that they have is they don't have anybody else to share with them how hard this is to get there except the other 40 boys and the other 40 girls that were here.
It's just so fun to watch. Let's head back down to Carrie for our awards presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please turn your attention to our 2-time and 2017 Foot Locker National Champion, Claudia Lane. And on the men's side, our 2017 National Champion for the Foot Locker National Champion, Dylan Jacobs. Congratulations, you guys.
Good, hang up. Is that okay, Ray?
You know, Claudia looks like she expected. Dylan, I think, is still, oh my gosh, we said anybody could have won it, and I'm sure he thought he was one of them. That's certainly true. But boy, it's sinking in now.
They joined some pretty elite company. If they were to go back and look at all of the names who had hoisted those trophies in the years before them, they'd find some pretty darn good ones.
Well, it's amazing. We mentioned this earlier, and it bears mentioning again. We've produced 10 Olympic medalists in the last 40 years, U.S. Olympians. And the one thing they have in common, not where they went to college, not who they trained with, not where they went to high school, the one thing that they all 10 have in common is they all raced at Foot Locker at some point in their careers. And I think one of the kids made a great point. You know, they all didn't get here. They took their first steps because the pressure is great. And this was what makes this race so special. You know, cross country is a team sport. There's no doubt about it. And they love warming up with their team, and they'll tell you that all the time. But this is the first time they step on a national stage where it is just them, where they're warming up by themselves. Their coach isn't here. this is the time, and they've made it great.
And as poised as they are, you forget that they're just teenagers.
They're just teenagers, but they were so excited down there in that finishing shoot. Everyone's high-fiving. Every single one of them are high-fiving each other. They're spraying water on each other. You know, it's like the NBA Finals down there right now. They're enjoying every minute of it, and it was such an honor to see America's best.
Fantastic. Well, 39 years, we might as well do it at least one more year, right? We'll get to 40, and we know we'll go much beyond that. What do you expect for next year?
Oh my gosh, that's what's so exciting about this. So we expect Claudia Lane to go after what would be the greatest race in history. It'll be the first 3-time winner ever. We expect Morris to come back and you know, Jorge Torres, the only boy in 39 years, so 40 years. We've never had any other boy other than Jorge make it 4 times. So you have history in the making. But what's also exciting right now is who will be the Morris next year? You know, who will be the Wolfgram next year? Who will come out and make their mark? And wherever they go, that's what's so great about the sport. Whatever races they run, they're going to say, oh, that's the girl from the Foot Locker, the freshman that got 7th. That's the boy that closed. That's that guy that got 2nd. And I think we can say, you know, we lost all those Texas 2-milers last year, Sam Worley and Reed Brown. I guess Texas is okay.
They're doing okay.
I guess they're okay.
Illinois had a pretty good day on the guys'
So
side.
did Minnesota.
And Minnesota. Got to get that plug in there.
We did.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us, Carrie, Tim. We will do it again next year. And thank you to the Foot Locker family. Thank you to New Balance and East Bay and everybody who puts this great event on, to the families, to the friends. Most of all, though, thank you to those 80 high school athletes who just ran their hearts out today. Thank you for being here for the Foot Locker Cross Country National Championships. We'll see you again next year.